Hello, everybody. Welcome to Looney tonight here. We're a little bit in the dark. We have a little bit of guests, but we got some sets for you ready to go. Before I get ahead of myself, I am joined here by the lovely Rhymes. Come say hello.
Hello, hello. Whoa, the face cams. Yeah, for our set right now, we're doing the Division X playoffs right now. So we're doing all three sets within the next three, hopefully not 4 hours, but 3 hours. We have Golden Hour versus Choo Choo. Golden Hour being more of an established team. They have pretty much all one tricks. Well, I guess Punchy's not playing. I was gonna say Punchy being a slash player, Aloha being a tri-slosher one trick, Tiddly being a junior one trick, Jay being a ZF one trick. I think Ezra will probably be playing some type of shooter then if Punchy's not playing. And on the other side, Choo Choo being more of a pickup group. We see 8 players on their roster here.
We have, pretty much a full 8 roster here. So it's really going to be seeing who's going to be playing here tonight because they have so many people they can rotate over. So, but something to note about this match is that we are in semifinals. Whatever team wins this set here is going to be moving on to the finals of Division X here. Isn't that exciting?
Very exciting. You know, it's whoever wins this one will play, I guess, the winner of the next set that'll be streamed. But you know, best of 9 sets all around today. I would like to see all 9 games, but you never know what will happen in Division X.
No, you're absolutely right here. We have so many opportunities, especially when you have again, that 8-person roster is tripping me out here because they can really change whatever they want, however they want here. It's just a matter of adapting here from that side here. And honestly, again, anything can happen. These teams are, they're in Division X for a reason. They're there to exploit any small opportunity that they get here. So it's going to be very exciting to see just what they're going to do against each other.
Yeah, for sure. I know on the side of Choo Choo, having players like Shadowwind from Moonlight, I think Keen is playing today. Keen says good morning, recent Gridlock 2024 winner. And I think, I'm trying to sneak peek, I think Synapse is playing today, and Kai, who is also on Duck Motif, is playing for them today.
Yeah, you go over there peeking in on the roster, you're like, oh, who are you? Who are you?
Yeah, taking a bit of a peek on Shadowwind stream, you know?
But it looks like we're going to be seeing here just again. I mean, you were right. You were just right, bro. That's what I'm seeing here. We are seeing that Pencil come out on the field. I do love that Wiper pick here. And Squelch Cheese is coming out.
Ooh,
that's interesting.
Interesting custom Jet Squelcher coming out from Jay. I guess no longer the Charger one trick I thought they were.
I think it might just be Undertow, because Undertow gets a little finicky here on Charger. If I'm being honest, from a Charger herself here, and it looks like we're already off to a good start. Pencil being able to find a pick right off the bat, and we are already seeing Choo Choo trying to move forward a path here, but the Rainmaker coming in from Golden Hour for a split second there.
Yeah, I think this is... Oh, whoa, I thought they picked up the Rainmaker there, but this will be a pretty big push for the side of Choo Choo. I think they'll at least get to this checkpoint and maybe a little more.
Yeah, already a speedy opening here from Choo Choo, but unfortunately with 2 of the members going down, they're going to be forced back here and forced to hold center to try and keep their space here, because Golden Hour is coming back to fight back really quickly here. We are already seeing this Kraken try to clear mid here, with Zuko being able to find a pick on the anchor as well. Huge for Choo Choo here, as that's going to, or not, blaster moment.
Yeah, Urza here with the custom range blaster. You know, blaster's pretty strong on this map. Just lets you poke around these ledges. As we see Urza just trying to clear areas out. We see the Inkjet go out, but that's 2 down, I believe, to the Rainmaker pop there. And Urza trying to get that flank off.
Yeah, already huge for Choo Choo. Looks like Choo Choo's having, being able to have control here and there of the map for this past minute and a half here. Even though they're pushed back, they're already right back on the attack. The second they get that opportunity, having this Rainmaker in their hands, but Golden Hour is not going to let that go unnoticed with the Jet coming out, taking it out, but only get traded out in the end.
Yeah, kind of just a back and forth game right now, though Choo Choo did get this first checkpoint, and honestly, Tent being really strong to push up here. We see 52 coming out from Synapse, trying to push that corner. And just a bit of a scrappy fight in the middle of the map right now.
Yep, we love our scraps here in Splatoon. Already this Rainmaker moving forward, trying to get a lot more points here, dropping it down to 17. Choo-Choo is pretty much smooth sailing, bringing the score all the way. I think they're going to go for more, trying to grab it, but not allowed to get a single extra point there for Choo-Choo.
Yeah, but we see Synapse here on that flank. I think picks off the range blaster there, picks off a second. Synapse still in the spawn, gets the trade out. But, you know, that's such a big distraction. And the Rainmaker being picked up.
Bro, they are going for these points here, not being afraid to push us a little more here. We never know when that 1 point extra is going to be coming in handy here, especially if Golden Hour finds their footing and is able to get a push here in the future. But they have a lot to do, especially considering they don't have a checkpoint in their favor. That's it. That's it.
You know, I was so distracted on Shadowwind's tent right there, and I think Golden Hour too was distracted by the tent, not seeing just Synapse sharking there and then picking up the Rainmaker to get that KO.
No, I think Bro got two out of it, and then was like, okay, that's ours, and knocked it right in. And to call for it. Oh my goodness.
You know, Rainmaker is never safe if it's in your spawn. Like, this is a very common call out I hear from like high level players I play with. They're like, once you pop the Rainmaker and it's in your spawn, get it out of there. Do not let anything like that happen.
The amount of games I've seen where it gets knocked out because that Rainmaker is left in the spawn is insane. And this is just showing, hey, no matter what level you're at, you are not safe from that strat anywhere you go here. And dude, it was just so whimsical. You got 2 kills and just like, oh, that's a free Rainmaker, and you knock it out.
Yeah, but we can see this first push, even at the beginning, Choo-Choo having those numbers advantage, they took advantage and just immediately started pushing. They had all the confidence in the world just to go in. Like, if they went down, didn't matter. They just kept going back for that Rainmaker pop.
They had consistent pressure going on the field. And as you said, they dropped numbers, but they were always on the attack, forcing Golden Hour on that back pedal. Just like, hey, no, you think you... no, you don't. It's just like, no, we're coming back. Don't worry. They didn't even allow them to get checkpoint. That's how like consistent their pressure was. They were constantly attacking, and it's just like leaving no room for Golden Hour to really do anything here. And it just ultimately led to that knockout, just constantly staggering them.
Yeah, for sure. But we are going into a bit of, I'd say, a slower pace game mode. Splat Zone's Mahi Mahi Resort. I think this might lead to Golden Hour's game a little better, just because they can slowly set up. They can get that junior with the bubble. If they stick to Jets culture, Storm's pretty good for zones as well.
Oh, true. But they're going to be going right to pencil, not even cooler pencil because of the zap here. They're going for rain pencil, which is interesting, which is going to allow for a little more chip to go out on the field, which is probably going to help their blaster out here. But also, you know, we have pencils on both sides. It's going to be a fight for the zone for like 30 seconds. Let's be honest.
Yeah, for sure. And that's actually 2 down for the side of Golden Hour. They can quickly start pushing up here. In theory, 3 down situation, but it's just Kai trying to hold the ground here.
Yeah, Pencil can only do so much here by themselves as they are just trying to hold a little bit of space here for their teammates to come back here. But with one already going down on Choo-Choo, Tamara trying to fight. Tamara also going down. Golden Hour is sitting really pretty here, just constantly taking picks off of Choo-Choo. What a drastic difference here from the last match we saw. They are moving with speed.
Yeah, and I think you can just tell on the side of Golden Hour, just so much more comfortable with splat zones. They knew where to set up, and that's the pick down on the hammer there from Keen, and Aloha just going in for more.
Bro is feeling whimsical. That is already 2 down on Choo-Choo once more. Even though Golden Hour lost control of the zone here for a second, it was great for Choo-Choo in order to, you know, put some penalty on the board here, but it's not going to be enough because Golden Hour was still holding, immediately capping that back. And, you know, it's just waiting for members of Choo-Choo to come to them here. They, you know...
Yeah, for sure. We see, though, 2 down. Actually, 2 down on both sides. The Zuka coming out from Shadowwind, unable to get a pick. And Urza kind of just trying to stall around here to make, to let their team come back. But Aloha going down early.
It looks like the Pencils might be fighting for the zone here. It's left and neutral, but with 3 down on Golden Hour. It looks like it's going to be Choo-Choo's turn to, you know, give them a taste of their own medicine. Already setting up in their base, seeing Shadow with this 10. I love the 10 play here. Just going in, putting the shield directly in their base here. But Golden Hour does have to find that strength to come back into center here.
Yeah, for sure. 10 on this map is so strong. It holds a lot of space. It stalls out a lot of fights, but we see here Inkjet coming out from Aloha, the Wavebreaker coming out cooler as well. But is this gonna be a retake for the side of Golden Hour?
Yep, it might be a little rough here, especially because Choo-Choo just took the lead right from him, and 2 down on Golden Hour as well. King with the hammer coming in for some extra picks. This is looking really good for Choo-Choo right here as they are looking to try and knock this out. You know, this pressure has not let up here. Once they got him on that lockout, they are holding it with only 10 ticks left. This just could very well be a knockout.
Yeah, 2 down on the side of Golden Hour, but I don't think that's enough time for them to cap.
And that's it, just like that. Choo-Choo just coming in strong. Once they got most of the members of Golden Hour down, that was it. They just locked them right out. Golden Hour had an incredible start. Do not get me wrong, though.
I think it was really tough for the side of Golden Hour to push back in because we saw Shadowwind doing just so much in the spawn, just holding that tent shield forward, making sure not letting the side of Golden Hour really to push past like their snipe area.
Oh, no, absolutely. It's just like once they grabbed them, it was just like, all right, you're stuck here. Bye-bye.
Yeah, but we can see here a really strong hold at the beginning from Golden Hour. They got it, I think 41 was the end of their push. But, you know, they fought back and they held it for a little bit, but just unable to fully get out of that penalty and score a little more at the time.
Yeah, which is really unfortunate because, yeah, they did have a really solid hold there. And I think once they had the 3 down, I think it's at around this point here, where they got 3 down and Choo-Choo was just able to go in and lock them out. That was it. They were held there. But that's also just zones in general. You know, you hold it and you're done. It's arguably, I think it's like one of those modes that has the most knockouts tied to it here, as we saw now. But we're going to be changing pace because we're going to be going to tower control ship shape.
Tower control ship shape, we talk about snowballing in tower control, but tower control ship shape is the epitome of snowballing. If you get past that second checkpoint, you are super close to knockout, but knocking out on that, unless you get a knockout on that map, no lead is safe.
Yep. That's how it is on snowballing maps. It looks like a lot of the maps, tower control maps that are played nowadays do feel snowballing. I mean, you got ship shape, you got, you know, Inkbot here that, you know, has those patterns. Oh, ZF! ZF! Never mind, we're eating well. Let's go.
The charger main sees a charger. That's not pencil. Let's go.
Non activation. Dude. I love you some ZF. I do think those strikes are going to be very handy here, especially considering, you know, you could just take control of that tower with just a 1 or 2 strikes there. So that's going to be very interesting to see. The only thing is consistency on them. So a lot of picks are going to be, you know, expected here from that charger to bring them out.
Ooh. Okay, Urza, I see you. Oh, but that's actually going to be 2 down on the side of Golden Hour. Urza holding on for their life and gets another pick, but unfortunately the hammer takes them down.
Hammer's also going to be going down to that charger, but that was 3 down on Golden Hour, leaving Jay to basically fend for themselves here as they wait for their teammates. Oh, Zuka, hello? Zuko nearly picking them off here, but with the rest of the members coming back, Golden Hour going to be trying to take this space back, trying to take this tower off of Choo-Choo here, not allowing them to push any further, but, you know, that does not stop them. Come with the tap shots!
Oh my god, but we see Synapse going for that long flank, gets 2, and this might be the snowball we started talking about at the beginning of the game.
That tower looks uncontested to me here, and with 2 people holding a guard here and the rest going to cause some mayhem, that looks like it's going to be, yeah, first checkpoint is down, making their way to that second one here. Golden Hour's got to get the research together here and trying to stop. I'd say as long as they can get them stopped before they clear that second checkpoint, they might just be all right here.
Yeah, Chaizuka coming out from Shadowwind gets 1, and I think that's just enough time for them to try to break the second checkpoint here.
Yep, and breaking it, they do already. They're going to be, dude! The hammer! There's only Keen left here on this tower here, just gonna be trying to, you know, grab as many more points here. These strikes might got 3. The strikes got 3. That's the end of that.
The strikes with the triple ending that push, but as I said, no lead is safe on this map except for a knockout. We have to see Golden Hour start pushing up aggressively, and that's exactly what Urza starts doing.
Yeah, they waste no time getting to space here, having their cooler here. Risks are much more minimized here, and, you know, just try to take picks, try to take space where you can. You will be back fast with your teammates here, so might as well just go ahead and do it. But Shadow being able to take 2 with a trade here. Already really good here. Looks like we're still in a neutral position here.
Yeah, it's a very back and forth play right now. Kind of just the stall in mid until one team gets an advantage. Urza does go down, but Synapse gets traded out for that as well. And the Inkjet coming out from Aloha.
Yep, and already, yeah, seeing these picks left and right, it is just waiting for whichever team is going to be finding that big advantage. They need to continue to push that tower here. You know, Choo-Choo does have every opportunity to play this as slow as they want, especially considering the 5-point lead here. And Golden Hour not being able to get past the 90s just yet. Bro, Keen with the hammer, trying to find a third, finding 3. Just a casual triple from Keen. Bro's feeling whimsical.
Keen has been so clutch with the Wiper here. You know, we don't see too much Wiper play, but honestly, this Wiper being really strong pick into the Range Blaster is helping out the side of Choo-Choo a lot.
Yeah, no, absolutely here. And, oh my god, they just get to go forward with it. Look at that. We're already seeing Urza trying to just find a pick on Synapse, not being able to find it here. It's just going to be trying to pick this tower because Choo-Choo's already moving forward, moving the train forward even. We like to say, even though 2 members just went down, that doesn't stop them.
Yeah, I mean, Choo-Choo, the more they push, the better it is for them. It just stalls the tower more from the side of Golden Hour. And that's 2 down for both sides. But Synapse, with the flank from far, gets one, gets the trade. But Keen coming in with the shot! What?
Almost trading that out, not quite. We saw a bit of silly plays coming out here from Choo-Choo, taking those long flanks here, but unfortunately going down. Again, it did stall time. You are absolutely right here, but we're going for trades.
Unfortunately, the trades are without cooler on the side of Golden Hour, and Choo-Choo did have the cooler. They're coming back a lot faster, but 2 down, 3 down on the side of Choo-Choo. This is Golden Hour's chance to start pushing.
Yeah, they gotta get going here because they only have a minute to get to 4 here if they want a chance to take this lead back. See, these strikes him out, allowing a little bit more space for their team here. Jay coming to grab this tower once more. Golden Hour's gonna lock right in here. You can't really afford to be going down here. Just at least these numbers are even, and this first checkpoint is getting pushed here. This is, their last opportunity. They gotta make it count.
For sure, and that's Jay going down to Kai's pencil. The trade here going in the favor of Choo-Choo, and that's the wipeout.
That's a wipeout. It's gonna take a miracle here for Golden Hour to try and grab this tower. Once more, the turf is just being painted all in yellow. Choo-Choo is just gonna be holding this tower until game ends. 5 seconds left. It's
we see Keen with the hammer at the end, but this game was so tough for Golden Hour. Just the amount of pressure Choo-Choo was putting on to the side of Golden Hour, just constantly pushing the tower, constantly just having someone on the flank of their lives.
Bro, they were feeling whimsical with those plays. The Synapse and Keen were just like, oh, we're behind you. Hey, what's up? How you doing? And you know, they were basically running circles around Golden Hour this game. They really didn't get past that 97 points until the end of the match where they were going for that first checkpoint here. And I think if they could bring that energy here within these next matches, I feel like it could be a lot more even here on the field.
Yeah, but we see the replay here. Synapse on that flank I was talking about, and the hammer coming out from Keen. And we just saw, I think the important thing too was Keen was getting a lot of value out of the hammers, getting at least 1 pick, maybe a second one, but also using that as a distraction.
Oh, absolutely. Here, distraction game is everything. If you can separate the attention of a team as well, if you can just find a way to go, hey, let's separate you guys. You guys go this way, you guys that way. It does so much when your side has all the coordination in the world.
Yeah, for sure. But I think Golden Hour, I think we're going into a Clan Blitz game. Yes, Clan Blitz Barnacle here. If we will get to that screen.
There we go.
There we go. Thank you, Jerian.
The I love OBS comment is so real. Honestly, as you said, we're going right into clans, which is going to be interesting because this is definitely a mode that is, hey, you set your own tempo, you set what you want to do, and they wanted to go in just as much as we did because they are already ready to go. I want to see if there's going to be any comp changes here because this can definitely get a lot more fast-paced if they allow it to be.
For sure. I think on the side of Choo-Choo, they're sticking the same. Why fix it if it was working before? We see the blue pencil coming out from Jay this time. And we have the junior from Tiddly.
Oh my goodness, that junior is going to be very interesting here because we're going to be seeing a lot of splat bombs come out on the field. I want to see, just how this is going to work out here. I haven't seen a junior in a minute and even less here on high level play.
For sure. And that bubble coming out within the first 20 seconds, as you said it, we're going to see a lot of these bubbles, a lot of these swap bombs. Aloha going for that push up to the stack, getting Synapse, but the other two teammates still stuck in mid here.
Ooh, just barely being able to get that pick right there from Shadow right there. But just a jetpack going in for a trade. Chuchu already has a pretty solid, economy going for them here. They already have a power in their possession, but it's just trying to, get past the center here as Golden Hour doesn't quite want to let up their neutral just yet.
As we said, both these teams are playing at their own pace, and they're both playing at a pretty fast pace here. Shadowwind trying to push in with that tent shield, but I think Tiddly sees it, puts up the bubble to protect the rest of their team here.
Yep. That bubble can be incredibly helpful here. Just try. Oh, the hammer's coming out again. Trying to find another pick here. I think Keen's going to be trying to go for this, but unfortunately getting picked off by Aloha here, but it does not stop Chuchu from getting a clam into the basket, but I think it's just going to be one clam going in, and that's the end of the push.
Yeah, just a single power clam push. It's a little tough to score on this map. Maybe that might be enough, but it's never a safe lead to have for that first push.
Because all it takes is a clam and a power clam and a clam to, swap that around here. I'm assuming they're going to be going for more here if they get the chance right here. But it looks like, it's a lot of back and forth in mid here from what we've seen these last 2 minutes here. This game could be a lot tighter than unless one of these teams gets a major push in. Ooh.
For sure. And Keen with that hammer, she gets taken down by that pencil. But I think what's important is Chuchu is the one staying in the offensive positions here, and they might get the second score in as well, but the Kraken coming out from Urza, trying to stop the power clam from going in.
Yep, that crack can just make a little bit more space. You don't want to be going down here on the offense here, as Golden Hour is just fighting, just try and keep their base in their favor, but it doesn't stop. Chuchu going in with a second power clam and more clams to call for it as well, opting to bring the score down. I believe if they can hold this open, it's gonna be smooth sailing. But that is gonna be the end with 3 of them going down just as fast as that push started.
Yeah, score 34 is very strong. But, no score is ever safe in Splatoon, as we say.
Oh my goodness, no score is safe indeed here, especially as we see just how fast these points can actually tick down here. But, definitely Chuchu is at an advantage here, considering they are the only team between the two that have scored.
Yeah, and we see Synapse, again, going for that flank. I don't know if the rest of Chuchu sees it, or Golden Hour sees it. What am I talking about?
Aloha definitely sees it here, just trying to pick up Synapse, but Bro is feeling whimsical and still got that pick here with a power clam in their possession and running circle, just trying to get out. No, just getting picked off.
They were so close to surviving that, but we see here Keen with the hammer, Bubble not really doing anything because the hammer can just kind of go through it and smash anyone in the bubble.
It's just like with a hammer, but unfortunately not being able to find a pick without a hammer either. Looks like Golden Hour was actually finding themselves in a turf advantage here, but one of their members unfortunately going down here, losing their blaster is not what you want here. As I think arguably they're a little bit scattered here, so they might just be getting picked off. Yep.
Yeah, Aloha trying to go for the play there. Unfortunately, just didn't have the paint around them to really go for that aggressive push, and that's gonna be the pencil going down, and I think Chuchu's gonna try to go for a third open here.
Yep, if they could just continue to bring the score down, it's going to be pretty smooth sailing from here. Aloha being able to find a pick on the Wiper, which is already really huge, especially considering the Wiper likes to be silly with their flanks on the side. Cooler's coming out. I think they're just preparing for the push because it's just a pencil left on Golden Hour. 2 power clams going into the basket. If they can continue to put clams in, it might just be a knockout here for Chuchu.
Chuchu just needs 2 more, and Kai has these 2 clams. If they have a clear path to the basket, just 1 more clam!
Just 1 clam! The score is all the way down to 1. I don't think they're finding that. Keep coming up with the hammer, unfortunately getting taken down. But yeah, that barrier closed just directly on the 1. But Golden Hour basically just has to knock out if they want a chance to win this here. And it's going to be rough considering they only have 10 seconds here to do so.
For sure, and we kind of just see the desperation plays coming out right now. We have the Kraken going out, but this is Golden Hour's opportunity to start pushing up. But Synapse, we see them on the flank. jumps out, but Jet coming out, and this has to be Golden Hour's chance to push here.
Yeah, they gotta go just about now here. 2 members on Choo Choo down right here, and just they gotta go. You gotta go, bestie. You gotta clap the basket. I'm scared of it like ending. No, they got it in. They got it in. I was scared of it ending before. Oh,
Ooh, that is 3 power clams going in, but it's only Urza left with clams, and probably the only player left to try to hold, and that's gonna be the wipeout for the side of Choo Choo.
Oh my goodness. It seems like a lot of the pushes are coming in last second here for Golden Hour. Just the opportunity was there, it just wasn't enough here. Choo Choo still, you know, holding that score of literally 99. Taking it home.
Yeah, I mean, their score to, I think it was 34 for their second push, was already very strong. But we saw at the end there, if it was only the score of the 34, I think Golden Hour could have taken it back. They had that score to 40. But because they got that third push into 1, it was so much harder for Golden Hour to actually take the lead there.
Yeah, absolutely. Just that it's just barely, it's just that was literally on the brink of knockout here. They would have had to go to 100-0 here. I feel like Golden Hour has every opportunity, not every, well, here, let me rephrase. I feel like Golden Hour has a chance to, you know, bring these scores a lot more even. I think it's more just like, hey, move forward like you do at the end of the matches that we're seeing now. And I want to see them lock in like that mid game, especially because this is be their final chance to stay in it as we move on to Manta Maria Rainmaker. I have beef.
How come? How come?
Okay, first, it gets a little bit tight here. We have Manta Maria, you know, in my opinion, is a little bit more of an enclosed map. Those streets are tight. You know, the only really open areas you have is the middle, and, you know, arguably, you know, your court there, but that's debatable, and it's not the best for backlines here, unless you're Splatling. Splatling gets to, you know, move around a little bit more freely, but it is really great for the sloshers that are here in the field, and the blasters, so those two are definitely going to be having a trip.
For sure. I mean, I think this is also pretty strong wiper map, so it might be in the advantage of Choo Choo. We saw Keen just going insane with that wiper like this whole set, so I think we'll see that staying around. But honestly, on the side of Golden Hour, I think they might have the advantage here just because if they stick that Junior, I think Bubble's really strong in this map, and they have the Tri-Slosher. I think this is Tri-Slosher, probably one of Tri-Slosher's best maps. There you go, I got it out.
There you go. Yeah, no, Tri-Slosher absolutely loves themselves a little bit of Manta Maria. It's just literally sloshing over ledges. It's like, what are they gonna do? Not be there?
No, for sure.
It's just like, well, yeah, we're definitely no slosher.
Oh no, wait.
Oh wait, there it is. Aloha's still coming out with it.
I was about to say, I'm like, we're not looking at Golden Hour yet, but yes, we do see Keen sticking with the wiper, and actually Shadowin sticking with the tent umbrella, which is a little surprising as someone who plays with the tent pretty often. They don't really like this map.
Oh my goodness, yo, really? 10 players don't like Manta?
Tell Kronos that. But anyways, looking at straight at this game, Tiddly getting the pick off on the wiper, but you see the tent here just stalling mid, Aloha getting that pick, but Synapse, I think, is just behind their backline, trying to make a distraction for their team.
Are they, dude, they are they're feeling whimsical if they're all the way back there, and it paid off because they were able to pick up the Rainmaker while they're at it, but the Pencil being able to tap them down here. Jay, what excellent tap shot there. I do have to give props to that. I can't even lie. But Golden Hour moving in very quickly here to grab that checkpoint here.
Yeah, and we're seeing a bit of a reverse of that first game. You know, the first game, Choo Choo went really fast, got the first checkpoint really fast, but now this time, Golden Hour getting the checkpoint first, but you know, I think the push is gonna stop here until the rest of their team gets some type of pick.
No, absolutely here, and you know, Choo Choo just needs to find their opportunity to push in here, especially because a lot of the turf in the center here is in Choo Choo's favor, but Choo Choo, well, not Choo Choo, in Golden Hour's favor. Excuse me here, I lost my turf.
Yeah, and I actually just realized that Urza going to that 52 gal, trying to ditto Synapse on that weapon, trying to see if they can get more value for their team on that weapon instead of the range blaster.
And already this checkpoint being grabbed here by Choo Choo as well. Even in these checkpoints here, but I thought they got knocked off by the Rainmaker shield.
As me and Chani said, the Manta Ocean takes 2 more.
goodness, not the Manta Ocean. Dude, this can go anywhere. I think it's very interesting because both of these teams did take the right checkpoint out of all the checkpoints here, which is really funny. Usually you'll see like maybe one right, one left, or maybe both left. So that was an interesting little thing.
Yeah, for sure. But we see Golden Hour playing so aggressive right now. They're getting the picks they need, and they're pushing up really fast. We see here the Cooler going out, the Inkjet coming out from Aloha, Synapse going down, Chaizuka shot! Oh my god.
You want Rainmaker? Zuka. We're wrong, Zuka.
For sure. But we see same thing here though. Golden Hour just holding so much of mid. I think that's gonna be key for them to win, to get the game win here. Jay picking up the Rainmaker this time. I think they want Tiddly maybe to just be able to push forward with bubble, with bombs to just paint a little bit more for the Rainmaker.
Yeah, caught it a little bit of a side scrap there, though, for sure. We are seeing Choo-Choo try to come in. Came with the hammer. Getting picked up. Wait, that's 3 down on Choo-Choo. They gotta go. Golden Hour's chance to get so many points on the board is now arising here. As Shadow just trying to pick off that Rainmaker. Not able to do so. Getting picked off themselves. You know, this is Golden Hour's chance to get a lot more points, but unfortunately getting picked. Went to the wipeout. Never mind. Choo-Choo just went down in a wipeout.
Yeah, and the wipeout there, I think what was going on is Jay was trying to get into the bubble of Tiddly, but it didn't work. But who cares? You get a score to 1, and again, you know, that's a really good score, but no lead is safe in Rainmaker. And that, you know, this is Golden Hour's first chance to really hold down a game and win.
Yep, this is the Golden Hour I've been wanting to see all said here because they had it in them and we are seeing it now. And honestly, it's just as long as they can prevent Choo-Choo from getting any, you know, just knocking out, all they have to do is literally prevent them from knocking out. This game can be theirs.
No, for sure. We see Urza there with the sneaky shark. Tries to get one, gets one. Just stalling out this fight for so long, and the rest of their team is back by it at this point.
Oh goodness, it's gonna get really tight here. I think Shadow's getting picked up with that Rainmaker there. They're on top of that. Again, Golden Hour is just like, oh shoot, this is our chance. We gotta lock in here because they are just holding this down right here. Again, as all they gotta do is just prevent a knockout, and this game is theirs. A lot is on the line here because it's definitely showing that they are not out of this yet. Oh, bomb.
The second bomb. Okay, I was gonna say, I'm not sure if that first bomb was to Synapse's wall or Shadowwind's tent shield. Okay, it was the wall bomb. I think that second one was also a bomb pick. So, you know, never too safe around bombs when you have a splash wall up.
Oh, oops, too many bombs. Too many spot bombs. Oh my goodness, and that's just how it is. Spot bombs are deadly, and we are definitely seeing it here. It looks like Chichi's going to be opting to go here for this right path here. You know, trying to find an opportunity themselves to go in. That path is a little too clear, and it's making me nervous with 2 members on Choo-Choo down. This can, they got it! It doesn't matter. I think that's a bomb. Did a bomb get that?
I thought it was the pencil, but it could have been a bomb too. Okay.
It was a bomb. I think it was a bomb.
I thought it was
in their head.
The voices in our head. Was it a bomb or a pencil? It was
a bomb.
Oh.
It was a pencil assist, but a bomb.
What a game 5. You know, Golden Hour is telling us right now that they are not out of this set. They are ready to go for that reverse sweep.
Absolutely. I think this will give them a little bit more of a wave of confidence here that they need to go into these next games, especially because we knew, I mean, they've shown at the end of their last couple games that they have this in them. They just got to bring it in the middle of the sets, in the middle of the games, excuse me. And we see it. So I'm very excited to see where this is going to go because Golden Hour's got to be running off a little bit of momentum going on here.
No, for sure. And I think this momentum will help them try to just play more aggressively. I think that was what got them the early lead in Mahi Mahi, and that's what got them this win in this game. Their aggression is so strong, but once they're on that defensive side, it feels like it's really hard for them to push back in.
It's just like, and that's really unfortunate that it turns out that way. So I guess what they gotta do here is just make sure that they get that dominant advantage here, because as we saw in Manta, they got it in check.
For sure. But, you know, we're going into everyone's favorite final destination of Splatoon 3, Tacklefish Stones. And
My
the teams are ready to play, and we're ready to commentate it.
Oh, yes, our condensed turf war of the night here. We're not fighting for the zone for like 30 seconds. It's over. I feel like this is going to be interesting because we are going to see both pencils coming out on the board here. I love still seeing this junior out on the field. We saw the power of the bombs, and that bubble's definitely going to help keep the zone a little bit more in their favor here. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I think early on, we should keep an eye on Synapse. Has that opening gamut, might try to go, again, for the whimsical flank, as we keep saying, but, playing a little more defensive here, trying to wait for their opponents to make that mistake first.
If you can catch people instead, it's only the beginning of the match. We have all the time in the world to wait for them to make mistakes here, especially as we are opening here. It's easy to get impatient if, we don't get moves happening within the first, 30 seconds of the game. Keen already coming in with a pick as well on top of that. Bringing that hammer out. I don't know if that's going to find anyone just yet. But it looks like Choo Choo is in control of the zone here, and they're planning on keeping this in their favor.
Yeah, this is a really dangerous spot for Golden Hour. They lost the lead. Not much of a lead yet, but, this can snowball into the side of Choo Choo. We see Shadow Wind with that 10 shield just going into the spawn. Gets taken down, but that's actually 2 down for the side of Golden Hour. And just more and more points going down for Choo Choo.
Yeah, Choo Choo is pretty adamant on holding this here. Golden Hour's got to find something soon here to try and get themselves back in because their window of opportunity is closing here as Choo Choo just continues to hold this pressure. And wait, I think that's 2 down on their side.
Yeah, that's 2 down, but, on the side of Golden Hour, they're not as close as they need to be to try to cap the zone. They do have the big bubbler. The Kraken goes out, and they're going to get that bubble into the zone. Maybe that's a cap for them.
That just about, I was nervous about that hammer, but there's pencils on each side going to be fighting for the zone. It looks like Golden Hour might be able to take this, and they just continue to put more pain on the zone. There it is, being able to play a hefty 72 penalty onto Choo Choo. This is their opportunity to try and make some waves here as Choo Choo's members are slowly coming back here.
Yeah, for sure. But as we said, Synapse playing aggressively gets taken down by Urza. Urza gets a second pick, and it's just Shadow Wind trying to hold the zone here.
Yep, it's gonna be a little bit tough here. They gotta find Golden Hour here. Just has to find an opportunity to give Choo Choo a little bit of a taste of their own medicine, moving into their base here. But I heard that hammer from behind, and even I jumped.
I got really nervous when I saw that, but the hammer not getting too much value. The Kraken coming out from Urza tries to make that distraction play again, and just this 1v1 Shadow and Urza right there. Shadow winning it out, but Aloha trading out for the side of Golden Hour.
And it looks like Choo Choo does have Cooler up on their side, so we're going to be seeing a lot of, forward plays here coming out from them. As we see the hammer from Keen trying to find something, getting picked off here by Tiddly. I think they're going to start beefing with the pencil, I'm not going to lie. But that pencil does have Cooler up as well, so they might just be dropping another one here for Choo Choo soon to try and give them an opportunity to go in. As almost every special in the book is coming out from Choo Choo, but Golden Hour is still holding this zone strong. Despite their pencil going out, all they got to do is hold. If they could just continue to keep Choo Choo at bay here, they might be able to grab the lead from them.
Yeah, it's a couple seconds towards lead. Synapse trying to go for the paint. Gets Aloha from the side. But is this going to be a lead for the side of Golden Hour? It's not. The penalty gets put on the side of Golden Hour.
Just barely 3 points off here from getting that lead to Choo Choo just by a hair. Being able to apply that penalty onto Golden Hour here. It's going to be incredibly rough here for Golden Hour. Speaking of it, because they just went 3 down, allowing Choo Choo to basically force them into a lockout situation.
Yeah, for sure. They need to be really careful here. The cooler does go out for the side of Golden Hour, takes down Keen, but the counter cooler from the side of Choo Choo is going to be key here.
It's going to get very tough here, but it looks like Golden Hour is still keeping their head in the game as Urza's able to find the pick. Kraken's coming out to make a lot more space for the side of Golden Hour. All they got to do is cap the zone, but the pencil's going to be fighting there on the side of Choo Choo to try and keep it, but it's not going to matter because Golden Hour is capping it once more. They got so many penalty points to go through here. Keen taking off too.
Keen with the double with the hammer, all gets picking out by Aloha, but that was penalty put onto Choo Choo. This is Golden Hour's chance to push up with the wipeout.
Oh my goodness, they are going right here, right for the lock here, but they have to be incredibly careful because this is also just as risky playing this far up here, but it looks like they're going in with all the confidence in the world, and I love it because it is paying off here. If they can stall this zone, stall this middle here, you know, what? They can possibly take this lead back. They have maybe at least like 10 seconds to go here before they can get lead, and they're constantly taking members of Choo Choo down. This might just be a knockout for Golden Hour if they can just hold this through.
Yeah, and this is going to be a knockout, especially with the big bubbler coming out. And that's the win for the side of Golden Hour.
Golden Hour! They are not done here. That is a game. What is this? Game 6 here, I think? For Golden Hour here. Yup, that's game 6. They are holding it through. They are not done, and they are showing it there. That last-ditch effort at the end of the match.
I think, you know, it was looking a little dire for the side of Golden Hour at the beginning of the game, but they brought it back. You know, they almost weren't able to paint over the zone, but you know, at the end there, they got that wipeout. They started pushing up aggressively, but then we saw Urza using the quick, I think they had cooler jump, so using that cooler jump to just reposition, get themselves into a safer position to just keep holding for the zone.
Which was absolutely huge here. I just love how Golden Hour was able to just keep their cool there, especially by the end where they had to, where it mattered most to keep your head in the game. And I think that's what also helped to, you know, bring them all the way down to that knockout. You know, they're still in this, and I want to see what else they're going to do here because Choo Choo, it put them a little bit more in a stressful situation here while Golden Hour is running off a little more momentum here. But we're going to see how this snowballs, especially considering that we are moving on to Macomart Tower Control.
Yep, Macomart Tower Control, a little less snowbally than how ship-shaped tower control can be, but still same thing here. Macomart is such a popular map mode that we play in this game, and I think we'll be from the side of Golden Hour seeing the Range Blaster and the Tri-Slosher again. They both love this map, and I think this could be, again, more momentum for the side of Golden Hour.
Oh, absolutely here. And, you know, if they just continue to bring this energy out that we have seen those last 2 games, just not giving up at all, you know, going with everything they have, we might be able to see, you know, more games here from Golden Hour. Or Choo Choo might just be wanting to put this in the ground and end it here. So I'm curious to see where this is going to go.
We do see the switch up from the side of Choo Choo. Synapse actually going to the 52 gal Deco, the one with screen here.
Indeed. It's gonna help. It's gonna give them a little bit more of that push power here. You know, force Golden Hour not to want to touch that screen, especially because of the chip damage that it does here. But or it could, you know, Golden Hour is be like, well, we're going anyways. So we can see where this is gonna go here as we're opening up here. This neutral is gonna be important to see who is gonna be getting those first moves. Keen with the extra long flank. Where is this going? Where are we going?
Keen just saying like, hey, I'll take your spawn if you're not in there. But coming back to it to help their teammates, throws the hammer there, but gets taken down by Urza on that Range Blaster.
It seems that we're seeing a lot of trades coming out on the field here, as you know, that's how it is on the neutral. It's just waiting for one of these teams to find that a huge opportunity that they need to get a massive push on the board here. It's just like, despite them all going down, they don't let up full, you know, they don't let up full control, which is why I think applies to why we've been in this neutral for so long.
Commend Tiddly for just their bomb placement. I don't think we saw it super clearly on earlier, but Tiddly getting 2 bomb picks with 2 separate bombs at it, like just all at once, which is kind of crazy. But Inkjet coming out, unfortunately, Keen with the hammer gets 1, and that's gonna be the side of Choo Choo to start pushing up here.
That opportunity is now in front of them here, but you know, there's so much that can happen here. It looks like a lot of the turf is in their favor on top of this, so as just all depends here. But with their wiper also no, that's 1 down on each side right here, and a blaster.
Oh, and that's a delayed wipe, I think, on the side of. You know, never mind. We saw Synapse go down there, had cooler, so they're going to be coming back with the screen, 2 down on the side of Golden Hour, and Choo Choo's just going to keep continuing to push this tower.
They're going to try to find this opportunity here, especially because Golden Hour did go 2 down here. And it's just, but this blaster is insane. I love this blaster, but I think they might be going down here. jumping around. But unfortunately going down there. But it wasn't enough to stall two of the members of Choo-Choo, so preventing that tower from moving all too much here. On the side of Choo-Choo right here, Golden Hour is not letting up just yet here. As you know, even though this tower is moving, they're not letting up complete pressure here. They're still trying to, you know, take some jabs here at Golden Hour here. As they're able to take a pick off the Wiper. I think they're starting to get used to the pattern that Keen has put on them so many games before that, you know, they're getting punished.
No, for sure. I think they're getting used to how just Keen likes to approach. You know, usually going for some type of flank, going that off angle. Urza taking down the player on the tower and just stalling out the tower for the rest of their team here.
And it's just like right now Choo-Choo is definitely in this lead though, so Golden Hour does have to get a little bit more of a push going as well when they get the opportunity. Shadow fighting a lottery Zuka, that's insane. But you know, Golden Hour does definitely have to get a bit of a bigger push here, just bringing it down to 43 in order to grab a lead, because if Choo-Choo can hold this here, that also means that would be the end of the set.
For sure. I think what's important, though, is Choo-Choo didn't get to that second checkpoint yet. They didn't even start trying to break it. So that's a good thing for Golden Hour. If they can get to that second checkpoint or even break it before Choo-Choo can, that will be a lot of momentum for them.
Oh, absolutely. Here, just finding that opportunity to do so here. And it looks like they might be able to find it too, because a lot of this turf is definitely in their favor here, and they have Cooler out on the board here. If they can just find that opportunity and get some picks on Choo-Choo here, they might be able to go forward, and they're trying to find it. Seeing that jet come out of the field, that is 2 down on Choo-Choo right now. That is going to be pretty much an opportunity to try and go forward here. I know that Choo-Choo's not going to let up just yet. However, it's still an opportunity for Golden Hour.
For sure. Golden Hour just slowly getting these picks out, trying to go for Synapse. Synapse taking the pick onto Aloha, and this might be Synapse just holding the stack, but the second checkpoint might be approached here.
Yeah, it could be. It's getting close too, because that tower did move all the way down to 52. Again, just keep your head cool. You got a minute to do this. It's gonna get pretty like tense here as we're approaching, like, you know, nearly the last 30 seconds of the game.
Yeah, for sure. Last 30 seconds, we have Shadowin jumping back and forth, has this Trizuka, probably just trying to position themselves in a better spot to pop that Trizuka, but it's just kind of the battle of mid right now until someone starts pushing this tower.
And seeing this bubble on the tower, this might be a good opportunity here for Golden Hour to try and take this lead back, slowly moving this tower forward. Arguably, that might have even been an early pop of the bubble here. But, you know, Choo-Choo is going to be trying to, you know, find an opportunity to, you know, meet us in the middle. But that tower is rapidly approaching the lead. That's the last second lead. That's the last second lead. Bro, all they got to do is hold that.
That's a last second lead, but they need to be extremely careful here. They also didn't get to the second checkpoint yet, so Choo-Choo can still get to the checkpoint. We see this sneaky flank from Aloha. Hello? Do we see Aloha yet?
Bro, Aloha's got to make the... Dude, wait, this might just be it. That might just be it. If they can just grab the tower, that's it.
Aloha saying aloha to the back of the tower there. Sorry, I had to say it.
Say aloha to my little bucket, bro. That, bro. Dude, see, just the smallest speck of ink there. Just being able to sandwich that on top of that. Just breaking that... Taking Shadow from the back there, just not even allowing them a chance to use their shield towards the rest of their members was huge. Just by a hair. Golden Hour taking the lead.
Yes, and then we're watching Into the Void right now. Actually, there we go. I was wondering if we'll get some of the replays here, but yeah, you know, same thing here. Golden Hour did play really aggressively at the beginning of the game. They got an early lead. Unfortunately, lost it towards the end there. But you know, when they started pushing, you said it. The bubble was a little early, but it got through the second or around the first checkpoint area, and that side is really hard to get through. So I think it was pretty smart use of that big bubbler, even if it was early.
It still had its value. Like, you know, it still got them to help get them to where they were. And, you know, they're going to be continuing to play on here, which is really huge. Golden Hour, what I've noticed is that their strengths are in the beginning and at the end of their matches. That is where their biggest pushes come through. And we've been seeing it throughout. So if they can, you know, get another one of those large pushes here, they might just be able to take this to a game 9. Because we're bringing this to Inkbot Clamps. That's very exciting. That map I kind of have beef with, just a little bit, just a minuscule amount of beef here, especially because it's easy to get caught in middle here. So you really just have to push forward, break past that midpoint, and you'll have a lot of points there to score on your end. We did see last time we did play Clanblitz that Choo was pretty dominant on that mode here. So I want to see if Golden Hour can pull what they did towards the end of the Barnacle game that we saw before and bring some big points home.
I think the thing to keep in mind for Clanblitz Inkblot 2 is the path between the two baskets is not that far. So once one team gets a wipeout, we can see a complete 180 to the other side of the map. So it's really important to be careful here not to wipe, but also to be aggressive and get those pushes in when needed.
Absolutely here. Juice couldn't have said it better myself here. So it looks like we're also not really getting any comp changes. Still seeing that Junior out of the I love me some Junior still. I am right, save me.
We do see the 252 gals coming back out, the 52 Ditto. We see Aloha starting on this right stack, but I think Skeen sees them. And I don't know what happened, but Ursa already went down. What happened here?
Yeah, we already seen those early picks come out on the board. Oh my goodness, Golden Hour also being able to, sandwich with those extra picks here. Urza coming in, even though they just went down, they're coming in for more here. They are not playing around. Golden Hour using that momentum that they know that has worked so well for them before is just trying to move up as picks is going on the board. We're going everywhere.
The picks are going left and right, up and down to the side. I don't even know what's going on. But the more picks that we're getting in mid, the slower it is for each team to try to push up.
It's just like both of the teams are just trying to find a huge opportunity that, it's just like we're going everywhere in the map. This is the most chaotic neutral I've seen in a while.
Yes, but I think we're finally getting to a bit of stability here. We see Choo has that 2-up opportunity. Shadowwind pushing up with the tent shield here, and this might be a basket open for the side of Choo.
A basket open indeed with that 10 shield coming in and some more clamps called for it. That power clamp was made and going right in here. Choo being able to break that basket first of the game here and finding 2 picks on Golden Hour on top of that. They might be able to keep this open if they keep these clams in their favor.
Yeah, definitely. And we see Shadowwind in the bats there with the tent shield. A very strong position. Tries to push Jay. Jay getting the tap shots on Shadowwind. And that's going to be the basket close.
Dude, I love Jay's tap shots so much. They've been so consistent on them. It's just like, push me. I'll tap you down. I love it so much.
No, for sure. Jay being really strong with those tap shots, not letting anyone just freely push them. But again, we're back into this neutral game. Shadowwind jumping out to reposition, has the Trizuka, and gets Aloha with the Trizuka.
Oh my goodness, what an excellent pick there right there. It's just putting a small... It doesn't matter because she's just going 2 down on top of that right here. Oh my goodness, we have people in the back line, but it's not going to matter because that basket is opening in the favor of Golden Hour here as members of Choo are going to be going down just as much as the members of Golden Hour. Aloha! Oh!
We're just seeing the picks going left and right, and it's just the chaos in mid right now. Keen going down to Urza on that 52 gal. They see Shadowwind's tent shield, but they can't really push it yet.
It's just like, oh my goodness, this has been chaos left and right here. Like, I'm almost like at a loss for words. It's just like, what is happening here in the House of Commons? Everything is happening in the House of Commons, if you ask me.
Oh, for sure. We see Golden Hour here just trying to pick up the clan economy. Aloha with that Inkjet. Tries to go for the pick, gets the assist on one, tries to go for a second one. The second one is very weak, and that might be a basket open for the side of Golden Hour.
They need more clams. They just don't have a power clam yet. There we go. Being able to form one here. They got to get a couple more clams here on the board. They are nearing that lead. Ooh, the 2 clams that they needed to get that lead were just gone right then there. As Choo just quickly ends the push just as fast as it's starting here. But Aloha is still under their base. It's like they have another power climb up and ready. I think they're going to be trying to hold this space here that they already have until that basket drops down once more. Ooh.
For sure. That Trizuka from Shadow gets one. But, all of mid is still the side of Golden Hour. They're trying to hold on. They're trying to play this patiently. They need a power and 1 to take the lead here.
Yeah, it's gonna get really close here, and it's gonna be very tense here. It's just like Golden Hour cannot lose their cool here, especially because this is gonna be crucial, especially if they want to bring this all the way down to a game 9 here. It's like play patiently, but don't respect them too much here because you'll lose all your pressure. There's so many things that could happen within this next minute.
For sure, Aloha with that Inkjet doesn't really get a pick yet, but I think it just used them mainly as a distraction, getting 2 down. Wait, what? Choo-Choo opens the basket? What happened here? Wait a second.
Uh-oh. Dude, King coming with the hammer in the bag, just bringing that ultra long flank here, as, you know, they're trying to get a little more pressure on the board, but that back to open and close just as fast here as I think, what? Where are we going?
You know, that basket open was a little unexpected, but I'm not sure if it was. Never mind, it is a good idea now. I was gonna say, I'm not sure if it's a good idea because that gives Golden Hour an extra pity clam to work with.
And it's just like, I mean, they're still putting more clams in, but that also means that they just went 3 down on top of that. That is Golden Hour's opportunity to try and get a counterattack, especially because they are reaching those last 10 seconds of the game, and that overtime, they're at the mercy of overtime for this push. So keep your cool, and you gotta find that opportunity to go in here. As, they are able to find the pick on one of the members of Choo-Choo here, but Keen coming in already, as Aloha is able to pick them up. This might be the opportunity they need to get these power clams in. Going in, jumping, this one power clam! Going in!
They got the jumps in at the end there, and they got both power clams in.
We're going to game 9. Dude, we're going to game 9.
What is going on?
Golden Hour locked in. I think they realize if we move with confidence, we can take this still. And they are showing it. Oh my goodness, Golden Hour just at the I'm telling you, their first pushes and their last pushes are some of the most important. They got they got opening gambit and last ditch effort, dude. I don't know what to tell you. Oh my god.
The voices in our ears is telling us the junior is strong. Once we got the junior gameplay, look what happened.
Junior gameplay is strong, dude. We believe in Junior in this household. Oh my goodness, dude! I think Golden Hour is running on some insane momentum off of this because Choo-Choo now has the mental pressure of, oh my god, this set is, it's a lot closer. You have one game that is going to decide whether you win or lose here.
No, for
and
sure. Oh man, we're going to a game 9. I think for both sides, I mean, it is make or break for both sides. But Golden Hour coming in with all that momentum, and Humpback Rainmaker is also a really strong Tri-Slosher map.
Dude, okay, no, but the thing is, this map is gonna be interesting because they're gonna be moving with speed, they're gonna be doing everything they can, but also these flanks are gonna get incredibly silly. But also, if you don't knock out, you're not done. This is the biggest map of anything can happen. Dude, I'm at the edge of my seat. I need to know how this concludes because I'm ripping my hair out at this point.
No, it's a crazy match right now. We are going you can see on the bottom, Choo-Choo going all 4 first games, getting those first 4. And then the next 4, Choo-Choo or Golden Hour's like, now, what if we win those? And we come to a game 9 now.
Dude, they got the momentum going because once they were able to take that one game, they're like, wait, we can actually, we got this. We got this. It's like, hold on. I think the cool thing is that they're still able to keep their cool even despite being in, terrible situations. And this is like, oh my god, whoa, we're like 3 down right here. And that's okay. We can still take this back. We're good.
No,
they're all good.
For sure. And loadouts being the same for the side of Choo-Choo. And actually, the same thing for Golden Hour. No more range blaster. Urza saying, no, let me, battle Synapse with this 52 gal.
Like I said, let me scrap 1-1. We'll make us an even fight. Don't worry. And already the pop going in the favor of Golden Hour right off the bat, giving them a little bit more turf to work with in the center, and along with the bubble here to add to that, holding of space right there. Golden Hour, not Golden Hour. Oh, Choo-Choo's here is going to be getting that cooler on top of that here, and that's going to be giving a little more opportunity to make a couple more risks here, especially the BC sign up trying to move a little bit more into middle, but getting punished right off the bat, giving an opportunity for Golden Hour to have a bit of a number advantage.
Yeah, the number advantage. Ooh, Kai getting that snipe with the pencil, but this push is still going towards Golden Hour. Vacuum. Actually, I just realized it's the Vacuum Tenebrella coming out from Shadow Wind. Vacuum coming out, gets one, and it's just the Rainmaker left.
Oh my goodness, already, but that's going to be a massive 3 down here on Golden Hour as well, allowing Chuchu to have a lot more space here and a lot more of an opportunity to do something, especially because we're waiting for members of Golden Hour to come back and basically meet them here. Urza not wasting any time to put that wall down and try to make a little bit more space with what they got in their hands. Oh my goodness, this is going to be intense. I already feel it.
Yeah, and Urza having so much power with that 52 count. You just saw Urza stand there and was like, hey, you're not getting past me. Here's a splash wall.
It's just like, nuh-uh. But already, Chuchu being the first team here to break that checkpoint, as well as it looks like their path is being carved for them with the pencil on Golden Hour going down, and they're just fighting picks with this Rainmaker. This might just be a good opportunity to make some points here, as Chuchu is looking to collapse on the rest of the members of Golden Hour as that path is being painted right here. And Kai moving forward with this Rainmaker getting stopped at 22.
Yeah, and the score of 22, you might think that's really good for Rainmaker, but Humpback Rainmaker is crazy. This map, I've seen teams score to 1 and still lose because it wasn't a knockout.
Yup, that is exactly what Rainmaker Humpback is. And it's just still like, hey, okay, maybe we can solve this out, but just don't get too comfortable here because, you know, Humpback Rainmaker.
No, for sure. Aloha getting the pick on the pencil there, but someone in mid from the side of Chuchu gets the Rainmaker, and that's kind of just going to be a reset for the side of Golden Hour here.
Oh my goodness, yep. They just got to find that opportunity to get that checkpoint here up and going. I think Rainmaker might be going in for a reset as well here. Just finding your footing here.
No, for sure. And, you know, we're kind of back into that neutral situation at the beginning of the game. Hammer coming out for the side of Keen, gets taken down by the pencil, and Urza trying to push Synapse here. Synapse actually going down to the pencil, and this is Golden Hour's chance to start pushing for a checkpoint.
Especially considering that Chuchu has 2 down here, and that checkpoint is now in the favor of Golden Hour. They're continuing to take picks off of Chuchu. If they can continue to hold that pressure, we do see the jet in their base. That Rainmaker is moving, and the bubble they're gonna go. That is down to 7. Golden Hour taking this push down to 7.
As I said, no one is safe here, but Aloha just sharking here. Does anyone know? Okay, thankfully on the side of Chuchu, they do they do take the Rainmaker out of their spawn, but Aloha I think is still in the spawn of Chuchu here.
Bro's feeling whimsical, but I think they're going to be getting picked up here in just a second. Unfortunately here, bringing one of the members down for Golden Hour, as Chuchu does have this Rainmaker in their position, in their hand, and they are moving as a pack. As a squad, they're going to be going to try and bring the score way down here, but that also means their club. Hey, dude!
I was about to say, Shadowwind has that vacuum, tries to get the vacuum push in, but barely gets it to 8, and that's going to be the stop.
That could have that was very close to being a lead swap there for Chuchu. That is insane and almost terrifying just how close it is. We are seeing Rainmaker Humpback in action here. We have a minute to see if this score is going to flip for Chuchu or if Golden Hour is going to be able to hold this, because I'm assuming they're going to be trying to build that back once more because it almost got them that lead, and they said, hey, what if we just do it again? So, as we see, the back, they got to overwhelm it or else it's going to be lead.
It's not lead yet, but that's 2 down for the side of each side. Keen with the right there with the pop. They're about to grab it. Doesn't get lead, but Shadowwind's still there trying to get jumps in.
Move that Rainmaker. Y'all gotta move that Rainmaker out of the way. Oh, wait, no, I thought it was popped. I was about to say, that is gonna be... You guys just gotta move that. Just drop that down. Get it out of there. You got 20 seconds to hold this Rainmaker. It is getting... a little too close here as we are seeing desperate plays go into the field as we have 10 seconds left. Golden Hour just has to hold this for 10 seconds to not allow Chuchu to even touch that Rainmaker. Oh wait, that might be it. I think that's it. They got the reverse sweep. Golden Hour down to the game 9, going to finals.
I am speechless at the end of that game. There were 2 chances for Chuchu to break that lead, and both times were with that vacuum push. They were just barely unable to get to that 7-point mark.
That is it, dude. I think they might have touched the 7-point, but just not being able to get to that 6. Golden Hour Chuchu was just so close to getting it, but Golden Hour just clutching that, just either overwhelming the mech or just being able to find a way to just take that Rainmaker out. That was incredibly too close for comfort. That is insane. Golden Hour, you are menaces.
I have to say this though. Choo Choo was extremely strong at the beginning of the set. They took those first four games, and some of those games were really fast, really confident games from them. But just towards the end here, unable to really get past, I think, really that threshold they needed. And I just think Golden Hour also just being so clutch. They were never panicked. They never went for those desperation plays into places where they knew they had to start feeding.
Exactly, and that's what I admire about Golden Hour. Even though they were in possibly the worst case scenario to come in, especially when it came to their set points, they did not give up, and we see it throughout the gameplay. It's exactly as you said. They kept their cool head, and that's what got them this far, and it's bringing them all the way to finals here that they will be playing later. What an intense set, dude! Like, I'm like practically shaking. I'm like, this had me at the edge of my seat. And I'm just like, I'm excited to see what they're going to do later because they are going to finals.
They are going to finals, and you know they will be playing whoever wins the next set coming up, which is Osmosis versus Black Lotus. But yeah, you know, Golden Hour, I think this was the third game 9 they played this whole Ludi season. They played a game 9 against Black Lotus, and I believe they played a game 9 versus Mango Heckmech in group stages as well.
Oh my goodness. Okay, what I'm hearing is it's already been good, it's gonna get better. Oh my goodness.
For sure. But Fufu, I think that will be it for us. At least for this set. You know, we gotta transition it to the next commentators. We don't want to take too much of their time.
Indeed. But before we go anywhere, Rice, how can people find you? Where can the lovely people find you tonight?
Let me see if I can point to it. Oh, there we go. I'm pointing to it. You know,
wait, was it this way?
No, other way.
No,
There
for you. Yeah, you can find Rice over there.
Yeah, so you can find me on all my socials. It's usually just We Like Rice everywhere. Maybe Caps, maybe not, but you'll find it somewhere.
It'll be somewhere. You guys can find me at SplatoonTourney over here. Oh, wait.
There we go.
Yay, we got it. A little bit of word spin. You guys can find me at SplatoonTourney for, of course, my commentary, shenanigans, art, and of course, a little bit of target stuff in the back here. And honestly, this has been an amazing set here, and you guys have so much more to go here. If that is what we start with, imagine what we have next for you guys. So don't go anywhere. We are going to be signing off here, but you guys got a great set of commentators coming up for your next set.
Welcome back, everyone, to Ludi tonight, or today, or whatever time it is, wherever you are. It is I, Siren. I am joined by the lovely Broken Pinky. How are you?
I'm doing great. Much like the rest of us, I'm recovering from the insanity that we just saw on our screens because, oh my God, golden hour! like,
I, I have
that
no
was
words.
insane.
That is last ditch effort personified in a team. I'm very impressed. I don't know if I would have been able to keep up that kind of pressure, but honestly, good on them. It's got to be really disappointing for the other team though, Choo Choo, because you get
Yeah.
so close, you're right there to just making it to the finals, and losing by 1 point in that last game. What a set. I have no words. So obviously Osmosis and Black Lotus have probably either been practicing if they're smart or sitting here watching the set going, what on earth? How are we going to live up to this ourselves? What are your thoughts here?
I mean, I would imagine that, I would imagine these two teams have probably been practicing and aren't super aware of what's going on. Maybe, they stopped practicing a bit early to watch the stream to see, what the holdup was, and then they realized that, we were going to game 9. But yeah, we have Osmosis, we have Black Lotus. In the group stage, Osmosis went undefeated, 4 wins, 0 losses, 1 tie. And that included a 5-0 victory over Choo Choo, who was on the other side of bracket. So Osmosis, was very dominant in the group stage, other than the game 9 with Healthy Diet Food Groups that they still won. Black Lotus had a very strong group stage, going 4-1, losing game 9 to Choo Choo, who may just await them to Golden Hour, my bad, who might just be awaiting them in finals. So interesting interactions between these top 4 teams, but I mean, Osmosis having the 5-0 victory over the other team in playoffs is definitely, a nice chip on their shoulder.
Yeah, it's gonna give them a good amount of confidence going into this. I'm sure you do feel by the time you're in X-Div playoffs, right? But regardless, both of these teams, you can kind of see the rosters had like a bit of an NA versus EU thing going on. You saw Noctis on the side, I believe, of Black Lotus, and then on Osmosis we have very familiar faces here in the West like Zenith, Len. I'm not too familiar personally with Atomic and Bab, but I'm sure they are amazing players if they are playing alongside those two.
Yeah, I remember the Atomic Laser, was a very strong Squeezer player. I don't know if they still play Squeezer, but having a lot of strong results. I believe they won Super Jump. That might have been a different roster. I know Zenith was on it, but I don't remember the rest of the players. But yeah, we have a 9-game set. We have 3 rounds of Rainmaker, which is a bit of torturous to these teams. But that's just how the cookie crumbles. We're starting things off on Rainmaker Undertow Spillway.
I can't even bring myself to be mad at that map mode myself. It's Undertow, Spillaway, Rainmaker. It's truly one of those Rainmaker maps where it's kind of hard to lose very quickly, but then again, I've seen it happen before. So both of these teams probably have a very set idea going into this of what they want to do. It's been in the game and it's been played in competitive pretty much since the start of the game, and barely any changes have had to be made to the map to make it viable, because it's always been viable. There's nothing really to do with it. So that's just one thing to consider there. I don't know. Okay,
Yeah.
It looks like we're starting to get into countdowns now for the match. It felt like it was kind of taking a while. I'm like, by this point, I'm like, let's start talking about the game. Yeah.
We'll have plenty of time to talk about the game, don't you worry. But yeah, I mean, Rainmaker Undertow has been a classic of this game for quite a while, so no surprises to be seeing it in the set. I imagine these teams are very familiar with it, but I mean, we saw just a few moments ago having game 9 on Rainmaker Humpback. It's a little bit sketchy. It's a little bit tense at times, and that might just be the final destination awaiting these two teams should the set go the full distance. But yeah, I'm super excited. Black Lotus was seen as, a big favorite to take the whole division. But Osmosis was very dominant in the group stage. I mean, only dropping 6 games total. That's kind of unheard of at the DivX level. So, I don't know. But
yeah, I think really early in the season, I wasn't anticipating things to be this close. I was like, wow, there's really not a lot of teams signed up in DivX that are like, that I look at the list and I go, yeah, this makes sense for DivX. This is no offense to these teams whatsoever. It's just like, it felt like a lot of like the super high level teams and players in Splatoon right now are either not on solid teams or they just like were like, yeah, Ludi, like it's it's several weeks, it's a lot. I kind of want to just pop in for those tournaments that pay out and then log right back off and cash in my check. So you don't see a whole lot of that in Ludi nowadays. I feel like that's sort of dropping off. But it's always great to see these like different teams forming for the season, such as Choo Choo, which just had their unfortunate demise. But with that being said, though, we finally get into this game, and thank you for the jump scare, Anger.
Let's get right into it. We're seeing a blaster battle immediately between Noctis and Len, which is going to be very fun. Zenith on the Wiper, and we have the Atomic Laser rocking the Foil Squeezer. We're also seeing opening Gambit 52 Gal on the side of Black Lotus. So a lot of pieces at play, and of course the double pencil and the tent comp. So let's just get into it. Osmosis is going to get the early pop here, and Zenith already trying to put pressure here on this right side. And I mean, Osmosis has a ton of the map already, and they're starting to get a few picks right now. Early pick on the Phoenix. Zenith is just being as annoying as possible. Finds a pick on the Noctis as well, and that's a great green light for Osmosis to start pushing.
Yeah, we see very early on here, Bab just taking that Rainmaker and running, going for it. Fat Cat gonna be forced to defend up from this angle here. Not going to be able to stop that Rainmaker from popping, however, as the hammer comes out. Len climbs up their snipe, and this is absolute chaos off in the base of Black Lotus here. Seems like it's starting to slow down a little bit now, but now we do just see Len waiting for an opportunity to kind of do their thing.
Yeah, I mean, Osmosis right now just kind of sharking here. We have Len and Atomic just both kind of chilling there. Now backing up, now that Anger's kind of exposed themselves with that Tenebrella. And Phoenix just running all around mid with that 52 Gal is going to find the pick onto the Rainmaker as well. And, sort of stall Osmosis a little bit, but Black Lotus has not really had, that strong of a chance to push themselves. So now, I mean, they have the pop, they have a good amount of mid painted in their color. Anger popping the Zuka, 2 down on the side of Osmosis, 3 down. It's just going to be Zenith on the Wiper trying to stop this push, but they're still by the first checkpoint, and Zenith is going to go down, so a delayed wipe is probably going to make a checkpoint here for Black Lotus.
Yeah, I don't think Zenith was anticipating Anger being able to react that fast to them approaching, and was able to pop that tent shield just in time to protect that Rainmaker. And this strategy is extremely strong for this part of the map, and we would have seen it earlier as well with Shadow Wind on that tent, which, you don't see tent very much in general, but seeing it 2 sets in a row from 2 very strong tent players on either sides of the globe is kind of impressive, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I love to see good Tenebrella gameplay right now, and it's definitely working in the favor of Black Lotus right now. They have that lead. They force Osmosis to jump the Maker off the map, and even still, they're still pushing so much map control, running it up this right-hand side, going to find a pick, and going to get a few more points of their lead while they're at it. They are going to go 4 down, but only 2 up from Osmosis means they're probably not going to get that much of the map controlled by the time Black Lotus rolls back out. And, I mean, halfway through the game, Black Lotus definitely has a good position, but Osmosis does have that checkpoint broken, which means they can definitely get the lead back pretty quickly if they make their way back over to that area. So it's just going to be on Black Lotus to be strong on the defense and, find ways to, push and hold space while they still can.
Zenith going to be popping that hammer right down the center there, gets the pick onto Noctis and forces the pencil to jump out of the center of the map there. So that does allow them to move this Rainmaker up once again. Len popping onto that snipe, but this time protected by that splatter color screen. That's going to move that Rainmaker up. They're going to be able to reobtain that lead, and that is just going to be another difficulty for Osmosis here. Like it's 32 on this map. Both teams have a very, very strong opportunity to extend this. 32 is never the kind of push, right? It never is.
Yeah. I mean, ideally on this map, you get into teens, especially, I mean, now that the slick is gone, honestly, you might just want to knock out. But yeah, I mean, 32, not a strong lead, but it's pretty much what they needed at this point to swing the game back in their favor for just a little bit. But a minute and a half remaining on the clock. Both these teams definitely have potential to extend their lead. And they both definitely would want to as well. Nox is going to find the trade there with Len. It's going to be trying to find another pick. Atomic, though, is going to be getting the pick on Noctis, running in the bubble, but it's going to get traded out themselves. And picks are just happening so often here in this little corner. See this Pop's Hammer going to be taken down by Phoenix, though. And Black Lotus definitely has the makings of a good push, but Len is still behind them, putting on so much pressure. And, I mean, these teams have not had a good chance to, concentrate around certain areas in a while. It's just been picks here, there, and everywhere. And, I mean, stalling this clock a little bit is exactly what is going to, work well for Osmosis here. As Zenith is going to find 2 picks, and 2 left on the side of Black Lotus means that this is a great chance for Osmosis to, extend their pressure area and maybe even, push the Rainmaker a little bit.
Yeah, Osmosis definitely playing like their best defense is their offense, and you can see with a roster like that, that is the prime opportunity for them here. So you're going to see them picking up that Rainmaker quite a bit more, most likely future in this map, just because they don't want to give Black Lotus an opportunity to pick it up. They don't want it in their hands whatsoever. But at the same time here, you're going to see a lot of aggressive plays, probably from Zenith and Len. That bubble's going to be popped out on that left side there, just allowing more people to jump in safely to mid and allow them to take this fight without risking too much in spawn either.
Yeah, I mean, a few seconds left, and Black Lotus is going to be picking up the Rainmaker for the final time this match. Zenith is going to be trying to find the pick with the hammer, and is going to be able to do just that with the assist from Len, and Osmosis is going to just very narrowly sneak away with the Game 1 win.
Yes, Osmosis taking that win with a 2-point lead, which is... It's just ridiculous, like how quickly these things can happen. Once you clear that checkpoint, I hear you laughing. Please elaborate for the audience.
I mean, it's just like, Rainmaker is so crazy. It's so fun as a spectator, but it's so awful as a competitor because it feels like you let up for just like 2 seconds and you lose the point by you lose the lead by 2 points, and it's just, you try to get it back and it just feels insurmountable at that point. And I'd imagine that's exactly what Black Lotus was feeling at that moment. You know, they had all the things going right. They had a good amount of control. They were putting good pressure. They slipped up once. They lost the lead by a few points, and they just could not get it back there. And I mean, that's just the story how it goes. Osmosis was the one, you know, to be a bit more opportunistic. They got the push where it mattered, when it mattered. And I mean, that's just how the cookie crumbles.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Bab being the one to grab that Rainmaker in a lot of those opportunities, and really barely having to turn that corner to even get that lead, which is kind of why it flew under the radar for me the first time around when we saw that. It's just like you don't expect just barely turning that corner to do something for you. Most things happen in that corridor following it. So quite the shocker there. Mahi gonna be splat zones on game 2, which I have some opinions on this map, but I feel like I should reserve them until you speak about it maybe a bit.
I don't know. I also have some opinions on this map, and they're a touch more negative than I feel like the majority of the scene here. But yeah, I mean, Splat Zone is going to be interesting because neither of these teams really pulled out of like paint heavy comp. I mean, they both have the blasters. We saw the Tenebrella and the Squeezer. You know, none of those weapons are phenomenal at painting. So I'm interested to see in any potential, you know, comp changes that these teams might want for, you know, zones. Maybe some more of those cheesy specials, or maybe just want to keep what they're doing and catch all those one-way drops that happen once the water drops.
Yeah, I definitely don't feel, at least as a player, like this map has enough real estate to be enjoyable until about that 60-point marker when the water drops. I'm like, well, this is fun, but like, okay, you guys got the zone first. Guess I'll wait here till we have an actual game to play. So that's really how I feel about it most of the time.
Well, that's fair. Let's see if we see that, or if we see a bit more of a back and forth as things start out. But let's just get into game 2. Same comp for the most part coming out on the side of Black Lotus and Osmosis. Going to be keeping it the same as well. So relatively low paint as far as, you know, zones map would be concerned. But, you know, you obviously have your pencils. Blaster paints a fair amount in this zone specifically. And Phoenix on the 52 gal, always a nice touch.
Yeah, that's gonna do a lot of spacing for them, and that Tenebrella is pretty much just the cherry on top for them. You can definitely tell their strategy very early on in this set is gonna be just revolved around sort of, I guess, corralling people into areas of the map that they want them to, and just letting the blaster finish them off. So largely that's what we've been seeing here, and right off the bat, you can see it's not really much of a 1v1 in mid, as very early control has gone to Black Lotus as they hold the zone here. Going down to 60, that's going to give Osmosis another opportunity to sneak back into mid, into avenues that are maybe not as visible or obvious or ridiculous to Black Lotus.
Yeah, but I mean, even still, Osmosis kind of just stuck in one place. Zenith is going to get a pick to try and, you know, break the stalemate. He's going to be popping the hammer to that end as well. Screen popped as well by Atomic, but still the zone, now it's going to be neutralized with 28 points to go, but Osmosis still not, you know, back in mid quite yet. Now they're starting to push in a little bit, but picks might just be happening here. Zenith is going to go down fairly early. Bab is just trying to paint the zone wherever they can. Len finds the pick on Noctis, and it's going to be enough for the zone cap here, but Black Lotus gets it right back.
Yeah, that zone cap is enough to get them in this game a little bit longer, not risk that knockout so much there. But they do need to be very mindful. I find that a lot of teams tend to focus a lot on that instant cap, and then they can't really get much further than that, and that's a very common pattern I've been finding on Mahi just in general. So that's one of those things that Osmosis has to look out for from here on in. They need to win these fights convincingly and not just long enough to cap the zone for a few seconds.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, I mean, right now the lead is at 28. You have to have a sustained hold on the zone if you want to get in striking distance of that lead. And right now, I mean, 3v2 numbers advantage. They can definitely press this to get the wipe. And Atomic's going to be doing just that to find the pick onto Phoenix there. But Zenith's going to go down courtesy of Fat Cat, I believe, on the pencil. So still not a solid hold for Osmosis yet. And Black Lotus already showing signs of life with the bubble. Just to kind of rally the team behind. But picks happening, 2 on either side. This is a crucial team fight for the rest of the course of this game here. As the zone timer starts to tick down past 50. Zenith's going to go down, though. All the members of Black Lotus are back in mid, trying to just make something happen. Anger patrolling with the right, with a 10 here, and is going to be enough for the cap. But picks are still happening. Fights are still happening. It's just going to be one left, and a delayed wipe is going to get Osmosis back in mid and back in control.
Wow, Atomic with the double moving up there onto that side, gets that final pick that they needed there. So they have moved up in front of that zone there. That splatter color screen is going to be put on hold for now as they wait for members of Black Lotus to try and reapproach mid, kind of see which avenues they're taking here. You can see a lot of them are going to this right side here. I would not be surprised to see this splatter color screen get popped very soon, just stopping them while they don't have any more penalty points at bay. Looks like they're taking a while, but it is going to get popped now. Atomic's still moving around these corners here, saying, hey, you know, I know your strategy is about maneuvering, but I will outmaneuver you as well. So 15 seconds left to go. They are 1 member down on each side here, but they still have Bab on the side of Osmosis. That means that zone is going to be held onto them for quite long enough to get them down to 1, but that's not going to be enough.
It's not enough quite yet. You got to go just a little bit farther, but 3 down. We're seeing a bit of a reverse here. A quick cap for Black Lotus to stall the game out for just a little bit longer as Osmosis gets it right back in their hands. But Black Lotus just able to avoid disaster there temporarily. But now a minute 15 left on the clock. They have to make it back into the zone, and Osmosis still doing a great job of just spacing them out and making it hard for them to play their game. Atomic, though, is going to get taken down early, and that is a crucial pick for Black Lotus to get, and Zenith goes down as well. This is a great opportunity then to push back in, especially as Atomic is going to be respawning. A minute left on the clock. Barely anything left. Just double on the Zuka there for Anger is surely going to be enough to get the cap here, but Zenith pulling out the hammer is going to get taken down, though, by Anger on the Tenebrella, and now Black Lotus has another chance for a hold. One of their last chances in this game. Noxus pops the bubble down early to try and just get some form of control here as Osmosis is going to be respawning, but it's going to come down to this one final fight. About 30 seconds separates this knockout from happening.
Yeah, I was a little worried about that bubble placement there and the timing of it ultimately, but it seems like it paid off. Zenith getting a little bit too close to that ledge, and Blaster said, I will be taking that, thank you. Len getting back into zone, though, says, I will be taking that, thank you. Pops that bubble. That screen is coming out as well. It might be a bit early, but there's only 15 seconds left in the game. That means they don't even have to knock out here. They just need to hold this long enough. They could even go neutral here if they want. They just have to avoid Black Lotus getting a cap of their own in these next 3 seconds.
Oh my goodness, few seconds left, but it's not going to be enough. The zone was in neutral when the time said 0, and Osmosis is going to take game 2 in another very hotly contested game.
That was ridiculously close. I'm already like, we're in for something, aren't we, Pinky?
We're in for something. Hopefully it's not. I want this set to go as long as possible. But my goodness, and it felt like so many players had a chance to shine. You know, Atomic got a huge triple there. Len got a crucial double to cause the wipeout there. Black Lotus, you know, had great flair at the beginning of the game, but you know, by the midpoint, once Osmosis got control of the zone, they just did not relent for a single second. And Black Lotus, I mean, they had their times of getting the zone back, but in the end, Osmosis just had that little bit of extra half step that allowed them to get the cap every time.
Yeah, Anger definitely playing very MVP for them, getting, like, kind of playing cleanup crew for them very consistently, supporting Noctis consistently on these fights, even, like, standing his own ground many times that game, popping that Zuka, getting that double, and even stopping that hammer, which is like, that's crazy for such a slow firing weapon to be able to catch that exact window. Stopping a hammer is like, I'm like, wow, nice job.
Yeah, Anger is incredible on the Tenebella right there. I mean, quite frankly, all these players are incredible, but Anger's really been showing themselves as a very strong player in the course of the set so far in these first 2 games. So, I mean, this has been a really fun set so far. Osmosis is up 2-0, but I mean, Black Lotus has been in striking distance of both of these games, so they can definitely get some games on the board as the set progresses. Game 3 is going to be on tower control for Ship-Shaped Cargo Company, and I mean, we have 2 blasters in this lobby between Noctis and Len, and I mean, Len has definitely been popping off in the last game. Noctis has definitely been having some great moments as well, so I mean, blasters on tower control, you know the vibes. Let's get into it. Phoenix on the V-shot here for that Zuka spam. Same stuff from Osmosis here.
I do find this map a bit interesting for Blaster, at least, because a lot of those ledges are kind of too high almost, and you kind of have like dinosaur raptor arms with that weapon on occasion. It depends on the map, and I think this is one of those maps where it can happen, but certainly there's a lot of avenues they can still take, and you're gonna see this really early on in the game here. Just Black Lotus moving up extremely far on that right side here, understanding that in this map in particular, that whoever wins that first fight is in for a good reward. Looks like that did turn around very fast on them, though, with Osmosis cleaning that up. Is going to be moving up very far. Atomic getting quite greedy, moving down that center there. That cooler's going to get popped, and Len has decided to take the initiative of taking that top left push.
Yeah, I mean, Black Lotus got a little bit too aggressive there. They, you know, pushed a bit too far forward. Now, Osmosis just kind of caught all 4 of them, got a wipe, and I mean, just off of that alone, they have a push down all the way to the 30s. Clearing that first checkpoint in the first minute, that's a great push already, and Phoenix is going to get taken down as well. Osmosis, I mean, they might not get much more work done on the tower for now, but they can just continue to hold this space right now and make Black Lotus uncomfortable and force them to make mistakes, and I mean, that's exactly what's happening. 3 versus 2 advantage, and tower is moving once again in favor of Osmosis here towards that second checkpoint, and this second checkpoint, I mean, it's kind of the final bastion that Black Lotus has to play around, because I mean, this tower is moving quickly. This game is moving fast. Len's going to find some picks as well. It's just going to be Noctis taken out by Atomic as well. Full respawn here from Black Lotus, and Osmosis is just going to get right back on the tower and keep cycling this pressure. And we might be seeing a quick game 3 here, Siren.
I think so too. Atomic going down, but is still going to be able to pop that splatter color screen beforehand here. Zenith, the last one standing, drops down below, but does get picked off once again by Anger, as Black Lotus is finally seeing a bit of a window for them to move and get an opportunity for themselves in this match. But you can see a bit of hesitancy. You see Noctis kind of anticipating someone to be sharking around these areas. A lot of these auto bombs going out trying to spot someone who might be there, but as we can see as spectators, we know that's not really the case. They are back in their base. They haven't moved up that far just yet, so maybe that hesitancy is going to get in the way of them a little bit, but that bubble is bailing them out of jail here for the time being, before Atomic comes in there and just derails the entire thing.
Atomic is just so strong on the squeezer there, and I mean, Zenith just shows up with the hammer right when they need to, and that is going to be an end to that push there for Black Lotus. And they weren't even able to get that first checkpoint down, and they have to get both checkpoints down if they want to get this game going in their favor. And I mean, you do not want to be staring down the barrel of an 0-3 deficit, especially in Div X. I mean, we saw it a bit earlier, but that was the last set was definitely a rare kind of thing, and Black Lotus definitely does not want to be trying to replicate that, but they might not have much of a choice right now, as this tower already moving past where that second checkpoint once was, and Noctis once again the last one alive. Bab is just going to be sitting back, making sure Osmosis is never going to get fully wiped no matter how aggressively they push, and that really just lets the other players just kind of go wild. Zenith finds a crazy hammer pick right there, finds another one as well, and just cycling these picks like crazy. Osmosis is just going to be converting that to a wipeout and a knockout, going up 3-0 in the set.
Wow, what a great start for Osmosis in this set. It just feels like every single following win has been a stronger one than the last. First game, we had that 2-point margin. The second game, I don't believe it. Yeah, it was not a knockout. They just held neutral at the end, but it was very close to one. And now we're finally starting to see these knockouts in the set. It makes me wonder if they're going to be able to keep up this momentum for them, or if they're if there is still some potential for Black Lotus to catch them off guard and maybe get them in a bit of a stumble.
Yeah, I mean, Osmosis has just been dominant this set so far, but like, I mean, we did see, a team go up 4-0 just a bit ago, and get reverse swept here. And I mean, that Black Lotus is definitely a good enough team to be able to do that. But I mean, if you're Osmosis, you got to be cautiously confident at this point because you're in a very good spot, but just you can't lose you don't want to become another statistic. You can't let that happen to you.
Well, let's just say they're probably trying to avoid playing on Humpback Pump Track Rainmaker at this point in the set, and I probably would be too with how that map mode tends to unravel. So we're going into our first match of Clam Blitz here, one that is, I guess, a mode that is kind of divisive in competitive Splatoon because I think literally everyone as players haven't really met like the capability that we're or the potential that we're capable of as far as this mode goes. So I think a lot of teams are in different states of progression of like who understands this mode a little bit better, or who's a bit faster, and who can accomplish X, Y, Z with it. So that's one of those things that I'm going to be looking out for in this game because, hey, there's a chance we might see it later, or this could just be the very last time we see Clam Blitz in this set. It could go either way. But both of these teams are very mobile. I will say that. They have about the same level of mobility, and that's usually one of those traits that I look for in teams. Like, when I see a team with, like, an E-leader or, like, a Hydra, I'm like, this might be difficult for them with clams. Like, you gotta have everyone on their feet for this. But, hey, both teams kind of dealt the same hand of cards here, so...
Yeah, I mean, at this point, we kind of know what's in these teams, toolboxes here. We know what's going to be happening. Phoenix going to be going onto the shot once again this game. Nox is going to be switching over to the custom blaster with the splashdown. Maybe not feeling that bubbler was doing as much as they wanted to. Maybe just wanting that area clearing abilities with that splashdown. Especially considering how much work Xena's been getting out of the hammer, which does a similar thing of area clearing. So let's just get into game 4 already. Zuka pick early as well. 2 down on the side of Osmosis here. Black Lotus already moving up fairly quickly. Atomic is going to be trying to anchor a bit. Is going to be trading up with Phoenix though. And just 30 seconds in, a lot of control from Black Lotus very early. And they're trying to shore it up with some clams as well to get an early push going.
Yeah, I can see why Len would pick the splashdown here. I think it's kind of worse for the offense in this particular map compared to the bubbler, because that does allow you to get a lot better pushes, but I think for the defense it's a lot stronger. You can clear that entire dunking area of any opponents very, very quickly that way, and there's not much they can do about it. And you're going to kind of want to supplement things for Bab a little bit here when their weapon is not necessarily a one-shot kill. So I can see the strategy that they are formulating here. A lot of fighting happening in mid here, and you can kind of see Osmosis is wrangling to get a little bit more map coverage here. It seems like they're struggling to stay alive, and they don't really have the real estate to be sharking the way that they have been in previous games this set.
Yeah, I mean, right now, Osmosis has definitely been on the back foot for the majority of the game. I feel like Black Lotus has gone for that sort of, beginning of the game gambit, so to speak. Not quite an opening gambit, but still just trying to get early control, and it finally worked with them there, but they still, weren't able to convert it into any points there. And now Osmosis, has that response. Still don't quite have the full, scope of mid in their control, but they have a lot of clams at the ready. Zenith holding onto a power clam is going to get taken down by Fat Cat, but now all the members of Osmosis are starting to push in, and if they can find the right picks that they need, this could lead to a very crucial score happening, but it's just about getting those last few picks here for Osmosis to get, going here. Screen is going to be, fading out of relevancy, but Len going to be trading with one. Phoenix is going to be trying to hold down the fort here, so to speak, for Black Lotus, but Osmosis just backing up smartly, not wanting to give up any of the control that they've been working so hard for, and, I mean, we're just back to Clam Blitz neutral.
Yay, Clam Blitz neutral! Zenith, once again, going to be the first one trying to push up out of their team. Len going down as well in the scuffle, so that is going to be Anger pushing up through mid. They do still have all this blue paint coverage, but it seems like someone's jumping out. I think that was probably Bab with a power clam, but doesn't look like they got quite out of the map. Seems like they just ended up behind them, where they unfortunately met their demise. So this does look like a great opportunity for Black Lotus to get a push in here, but they don't have a power clam, which is kind of questionable. Well, I take that back.
There we go. Yeah, and Atomic's going to be the last one alive. Going to be dropping down into that lower area as well, jumping out. There's a splashdown to sort of clear that area by the basket. Not a whole lot of clams left for Black Lotus to extend this lead that much more, but I mean, as I say it, Commentators curse yet again. 41 points is where the lead stands, and Black Lotus starting to cycle some clams into that basket there, but losing some control in the process here as Osmosis starting to rally back around this basket. Basket is going to close, so 41 is where the lead is going to stand for now. And Osmosis really trying to get Fat Cat out of their area as much as possible, but picks are still happening on either side, and I mean, Osmosis cannot move up safely quite yet, so I mean, a minute 22 left in this game. Osmosis is really struggling to, you know, get a good amount of control here on this map, and Black Lotus definitely been, you know, setting the pace of this game.
Yeah, Black Lotus does need to be careful from this point on, though, as to where and how they're going to set this pressure. They're going to want to keep it in a very steady state, but not in a way that risks them too much. Even in the last set there, we were able to see one of the teams in overtime score all the way down from 100 to 40, just with a few power clams. So it's very, very plausible that that kind of thing can happen once again with these teams here. And we're looking at 41 right now. Like, it's very realistic that this team could pull off the exact same thing. Though they do just have to be careful. They do need to be like watching that clam economy constantly. You can see they have a few, but it doesn't look like that pity clam has been touched, and Bab is very far up here. Like they want to be fighting. No one wants to go do that chore of picking up that power clam in their base. Len's going to be popping that bubble, but that is simply just going to be bait for the members of Black Lotus to run into and take out Len before they can do a whole lot with it.
Yeah, 10 seconds left of the regular timer here. It's do or die right now for Osmosis. They're going to break the basket, but they don't have much clams for a follow-up quite yet, and they're definitely far away from the basket, especially courtesy of that splash. And they're going to go 3 down as well. Bab cannot make it in time, and Black Lotus in the response is going to be taking game 4 and getting themselves on the board.
That's brutal, honestly, but it's a great start for Black Lotus in this set to start getting these games in here. You definitely don't want to be in the position where one game win for Osmosis means that they can take the whole thing. Like, yay, reverse sweeping, it's very hype and everything, but like, if I'm in that position, I don't want to be like, oh, any little tiny mess up I make means we win the set automatically. So they still have a little bit of breathing room at this point in. They still have an like one more chance to mess up. It's one chance, but it is a chance. So that's not a bad position to be in if you're Black Lotus. Like, you can very, very reasonably still take this.
Absolutely. I mean, that added buffer, I mean, it could make all the difference potentially. So, I mean, I'm sure Black Lotus is at least to have a game on the board sooner rather than later, especially, you know, as far as that mental goes, because now they have, you know, more of a chance to keep going. And as you said, they have another chance to make a mistake and still, you know, be able to take the set. But, I mean, Osmosis, I'd imagine they aren't feeling too beat up because it's just one game. And they've been, you know, winning the other 3 games fairly convincingly so far. And as you said, more convincingly than the last. But now for Osmosis, I think they'd want to, you know, make sure that kind of doesn't happen, because it felt like that whole game they just couldn't quite get a push going together, and their formation was always being broken. So I think if I'm on Osmosis, I'm thinking about, you know, what can we do, you know, as players and as a team to sort of keep ourselves a little bit more stable and to make these, you know, deep pushes happen a little bit more effectively, especially as we're going to be going on to Rainmaker now, which is a mode that, you know, is going to require the deep pushes that Black Lotus has just made on Clan Blitz.
Yeah, Rainmaker, we're returning to it as was with game 1. I think we have another opportunity for things to be just as close as they were like 20 minutes ago or so. But this one, which map are we looking at here, actually? That's really relevant.
We're looking at Manta Maria, I believe.
Oh, Manta. Oh, okay. All right. Well, this is another one of those maps where it's like you pretty much you win at a certain point threshold, or you knock out, or you don't do either of those things and you stay in mid forever. Which I think the last one is the least likely to happen for either of these teams. But we'll see. Did I just see an edit? Okay, yeah. I did. My eyes do not deceive me, and it seems Noctis liked how that splashdown blaster felt, is going to continue playing that for the remainder of the set. And when it's Rainmaker, I can totally understand that. You want something that's going to be able to pop that Rainmaker quickly if you need it to. So splashdown is always going to have that added capability there.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of being able to pop the Rainmaker quickly, Zenith on the Viper is definitely going to be great at doing that. And already on the flank, not going to be able to find someone, while doing so, but at least going to, surprise Black Lotus a little bit. Picks are already starting to happen very quickly in the middle of the map here. Two up on either side, I believe. Zenith's just going to be pushing forward into Fat Cat, but it's going to be taken down by Anger. Bab holding onto the Rainmaker, but, the teammates are going down. Bab has to back up a little bit, and it's going to get taken out by Zuka as well as Atomic, so... delayed wipe for Osmosis here. Great start for Black Lotus yet again. Zenith is trying to, delay the push as much as possible, but now that they're down, Black Lotus can definitely start pushing toward that first checkpoint.
Yeah, Black Lotus getting a very early checkpoint here, kind of opposite of what we saw before with Osmosis getting it very early into the first game there. So they're able to clear that. I don't know if they're going to continue this route unless they are able to pop that Rainmaker, and they are able to. It seems like Anger was at the ready with that tent shield, was preparing for them to be able to drop that into the street and move it a lot farther there, but is going to be getting picked off there as Black Lotus members have retreated. So Bab going to be picking up that Rainmaker once again, but it seems like they are not letting up on the aggression here. Moving back up into the street, Len is going to have to back up, but unfortunately Phoenix was there waiting for them. So that's going to be the big struggle here. Are we going to be able to clear this permanently, or are we just going to move them back a little bit further into mid, but not quite deal with them? And you know what? Commentator's curse. That is going to be a wipeout. So that does mean we do have to move it very fast.
Yeah, I mean, they got to go because Black Lotus is already respawned. They do not have much paint control in the middle of the map at all. So picks have got to be happening fast here for Osmosis if they want to get, a push to the checkpoint as soon as possible. Zenith's going to be running it with the hammer into 3 people. It's not going to work out for them, though. Bab going to be getting the checkpoint popped at least. So, I mean, at least Osmosis has that going for them, but they don't have much control beyond this checkpoint and not much hope of winning this fight as well. So, Black Lotus is probably going to be able to defend by this first checkpoint area here. Zenith is going to find a pick with the hammer, but getting it taken down by Noctis. Screen coming out from Atomic as well as, Bab taking control of the Bats area here, but not going to be enough to get this Rainmaker keep going as it's going to reset. But now Black Lotus going to be fighting, with their bunker, not in their control. That is pretty brutal on this map, and they are fighting at a pretty, significant range disadvantage without that pencil. So, I mean, this could be a good opportunity for Osmosis to, space them out, find some picks, slow the game down a little bit, and just force Black Lotus to make some mistakes as, they try to run in.
Yeah, you can see Zenith here taking the same kind of strategy once and once and once again. I can tell they're not necessarily going for picks inherently, but they're trying to disrupt anything they have onto the side of Black Lotus. That cooler is going to be coming out and allowing them to repeat that strategy once again. Zenith already back in here. Phoenix pulling that Rainmaker back and trying to reset it, but is actually killed while hanging off of that ledge there. Bab going to be popping that Rainmaker. Zenith's going to be going down there. Seems like Bab is able to pick that up, hugs the wall long enough to get the lead, and it's going to drop it down to 16 points. That is quite the lead on this map. That is very, it's defendable. That is the term I will use.
Yeah, I mean, it's defendable, but dropping it down is exactly where you want to be. Below 20 points is, I mean, about as good as you could hope for on this map. So great spot for Osmosis. I don't know who got the pick, if it was Len or if it was Bab, but crucial pick onto Phoenix into, dropping the Rainmaker. Just absolutely incredible. Phoenix not able to find Atomic for a bit, just finally able to find them. But a minute left on the clock. Another just reversal of momentum here for Osmosis in Rainmaker. A bit of a pattern here. Now Black Lotus, the onus is on them to get to 15 points in the next minute of gameplay here. Phoenix already pushing up, taking control of the enemy bunker. This is a crucial spot. They know that Atomic is there as well, and they have to find the pick. They are able to do just that. Fat Cat pushing through the sneaky here. Bab is already going to be seeing them with the pencil, but this AoE is trying to get them, displaced as much as possible. Len finds a pick, but here comes the splash to try and clear the way for this Rainmaker to run forth as much as possible, and it's going to come down to the very last second here as Fat Cat does not want to take any risks at this point. That could be fatal for the state of the game. Zenith is going to be popping the hammer, trying to hunt down this Rainmaker, but it's going to get stuck in that wall just a little bit. But Fat Cat going to be taken down by Len. 3 down on the side of Black Lotus is just going to be Phoenix, and that is going to be a full wipe with 10 seconds to go, and that is surely going to be enough to get Osmosis a win here in Game 5.
Yes, Len popping that protective bubble as Zenith closes out the game with the squid bag. Wow.
Oh, man.
I guess that is what you do when it's game set point, right?
I mean, it's not quite set one yet. They're close. But yeah, Zenith definitely excited about that because that was a very tense game. I mean, it just came down to that one crucial moment. Phoenix tried to jump it off the map. They got picked off instead, and that left Black Lotus 3 down. Osmosis fully up, and I mean, at that point, that's just the lead, and that converted to the game.
Yeah, another Rainmaker win onto the belt for Osmosis, and now Black Lotus kind of even further onto that back foot here. But I mean, hey, they could be a pressure cooker team. Like, what if they do great here? All of a sudden, it could be a repeat of what we saw earlier today. But we know how uncommon or unlikely that situation is to happen. So if I am them, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not above like being kind of freaked out right now. It's not a good position to be in. I can't sugarcoat it.
I mean, yeah, if I'm Black Lotus, I'm definitely very scared because I mean, at this point, you don't have any more lifelines. You gotta just win out. You have 4 games. You gotta win them all. If you lose a single one, you're out at third. I mean, tied for third at least. So a rough spot for them to be in. But I mean, Osmosis has just been so incredibly strong the entire duration of the set. Even in game 4, where they were kind of faltering a little bit, they were able to pick it right back up in game 5. So now, as we go on to Splatoons, a mode where Osmosis has already won on, this is dire straits, definitely. I mean, Black Lotus, we said it before, I'll say it again, definitely capable of doing this. They're definitely an incredibly strong team at the top of DivX. But Osmosis is just, they're proven to be something else right now, and Black Lotus has been struggling to find answers thus far, and I mean, this is the last chance to do so.
Yeah, things could be ending here on Hagglefish Zones. Both teams having a very strong pencil player. So that is one of those things that I think is going to be like crucial to this game, because pencil, as we know, it's already good on zones, but with Haggle you have one really good vantage point as the pencil. You can pretty much paint the zone entirely from there. It's kind of similar to Mahi in that way, but I feel like it's even harder to contest without like Azuka or something with long AoE. Maybe we see a range blaster. I don't think we do, but it's not out of the question.
Yeah, it's out of the question, sadly. I know, I'm personally a Range Blaster player, so I would love to see it, but, I mean, Len and Noctis, definitely pioneers of the Vanilla Blaster, so no surprise to be seeing them on that as well. So we're seeing Phoenix going back to that 52 gal, not feeling the love on the Squeezer, and really, or on the Zook at least, and really wanting that wall back. Wall is very strong on the map, so no surprise there, but Bab already taking position on the 10s. You know exactly where the pencils are going to be for most of this game, especially in neutral here. Black Lotus gets the early zone cap here, but Zenith pops the hammer. Not going to find anything though. 2 down on the side of Osmosis here. 3 down. Black Lotus is probably going to be able to convert this into a ton more points, but Atomic still behind them. Finally going to get taken down though. Black Lotus should get the zone cap fairly soon, but not if Len has anything to say about it. Finds one pick. Is going to find another on the Noctis, and almost single-handedly turns that position right around thanks to Atomic stalling it.
Yeah, I was really impressed by that. I thought with Atomic having that cooler, they may have opted into jumping out because they would have been able to get out of that situation scot-free and return with their teammates, but decided, yeah, you know what? My teammates don't need me. I have a lot of trust in them. I will hold this until they can come back, and was able to very confidently do so. So props to that. Holding this zone here, we see Len taking that top mid, probably trying to save up a little bit more just for that bubble to retain this zone a bit longer here. But smartly, these teams have both decided to, well, just Osmosis has decided to retreat for now. Len going to be going down, caught up in that splashdown while trying to flank, and it's kind of a return to neutral, even though the points don't really indicate that.
Yeah, I mean, we are, back to neutral. Black Lotus, quickly chipping away at the lead that Osmosis currently has. It's going to be flipping in about a few seconds here. Osmosis is just trying to stay back. They don't want to be taking any risks because, I mean, a team wipe at this point is a knockout. No doubt about it. So just trying to be careful. They have the cooler online. They're trying to get some specials. They have Hammer. They have Bubble. They should be close to screen as well, but Hammer's going to get taken down pretty early. Len finds a pick on an Octopus, gets taken down themselves, and all of a sudden, 2v3, this might be what Black Lotus needs for the knockout. Just have to hold a little bit longer, but the paint spam from the Squeezer and the pencil is going to be enough to get the zone back in favor for Osmosis. But that got really close there. And now Osmosis, I mean, still cannot rest easy. The Zuka's hunting for them. They're very out of position here, so Black Cloud is probably going to get the zone back in their favor really quickly, so Osmosis has to do it all over again.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you there. I thought that was going to be curtains for this game for Osmosis. I thought it was going to end very quickly there. That splatter color screen kind of coming in clutch and forcing Black Lotus to make a very difficult decision there to move forward through it, and not quite able to win that fight and get that knockout secured, but was enough for Osmosis to get in there and get another cap and give them another opportunity, even though that we're now staring down the barrel of a very short penalty and a very short point timer after that.
Yeah, we might just be back into knockout territory, so let's go. Let's see if Osmosis can get the zone cap in about 5 seconds, because that is what they need to do to get this game going for any longer here. But Zenith goes down, Len goes down, and Black Lotus is going to be getting the knockout here in Game 6, and it's going to be taking the set count 4-2.
Wow. Okay. Maybe they are a pressure cooker team. Who knows? We've gotten to the spot where Osmosis, if they win a game, they will take that set. And obviously, they are very against that notion, and they don't want that to happen. So, like any team would be, I appreciate the strength to continue on. When you're in this scenario as a team in any set, really, but Ludi just kind of amps up that pressure, because it's just been this whole season leading up to this. Like, this is the moment where it's make it or break it. Do we get to finals or do we not?
Yeah, I mean, this is the last chance for Black Lotus. I mean, they had 4 games. They already got one of them, so 3 to go for them to make this crazy comeback happen. Meanwhile, Osmosis not going to give it to them for free. I mean, that was a really well-played game from them for the most part there, but Black Lotus just had a really strong hold for a really long time, and Osmosis just made a few small mistakes on, that re-entry. And I mean, that cost them that game. But still, I mean, very strong team, and now we're going to be going back to tower control, where they had their most dominant win so far of the set. So, I mean, it's shaping up to be that Osmosis should be winning it, but Black Lotus is not going to quit and is not going to back down by any means. So if you're writing the set off right now, what are you doing, man?
Yeah, you got to be paying attention at this point, and we're looking down at tower control on Mako Mart here, which even in the last set came down to very, very narrow points for both of those teams, where the first half of the set was very dominating for one team. And this is kind of where both teams started to close the gap a little bit more intensely, as you would have to here. So that, we're in for something here. And that something is Mako Tower, which is one of those maps where it's if you get past that second checkpoint, you will probably knock out. And if you don't, the other team is just a miracle player with defense. They're just something else. So I guess that's my gripe with this map, but it's also just that's how the game is, right?
That's tower control.
Yeah. both teams have to be prepared for it, and if they're not, they're gonna probably lose the game.
Yeah, we're gonna be seeing Zenith switching off of that Wiper and onto that V shot, as Phoenix goes on to Splatter shot as well. So maybe that feeding playstyle on Wiper, Zenith wasn't quite feeling it. Maybe on this map, they would rather have that Zuka at the play, but regardless, we're going to be seeing the Wiper take a backseat here, and that's going to be a little bit more paint here for Osmosis than they've had beforehand, which, I mean, could be nice to have on a map like this one. Atomic going to find a pick onto Anger as well. Picks happening on both sides. Phoenix barely missing that Zuka shot that was going to be taken down for their troubles, and Atomic still running up trying to laser people as much as possible. Tower in control of Osmosis, but mid is just a multicolored battleground right now. It's just all stuff's happening all over the place.
Yeah, you can see Atomic trying to find these picks and almost play skirmisher while Zenith is not really on that Wiper. So she's picked that splatter shot here, and I like that it is a lot more paint, but it does also give Zenith maybe a bit more viable of a killing tool with that Zuka there. I don't think she was getting as much payoff as she would have liked with the hammer, even if it was just okay, I'm gonna cause chaos and die, and I have cooler, and I'll come back and I'll do it again in 5 seconds. This is more all right, we're gonna explosively get rid of you as an entire team instead of just making you move your position.
Yeah, and I mean, early game, it's been working out for them so far. They have the tower at 53 points for their lead at least. Tower's going to be returning to mid, slowly but surely, but here comes Zuka, finds the pick on the Phoenix. As we were saying just a little bit, just Zuka is such a powerful special in this game, and Zenith is a very strong player at using it, so let's just, I mean, this push is coming right back in, but Zuka from Anger is going to be enough to stop that tower just a little bit, and the splashdown should put a pin on that push, although Noxus goes down themselves in the process, and Phoenix goes on the flank here, is not going to find any picks for the troubles, but is going to get, you know, a bit more time for Black Lotus at least, because time is of the essence in this game, especially, you know, on tower control. That tower moves very slowly, but, I mean, that snowball can start to roll much faster than you might think, so Black Lotus really just has to do something, because they've been stuck in defense for the entirety of this match right now, and they've just, Osmosis is just not letting up a single second. Black Lotus has to find some kind of answers here.
Yeah, very impressive how quickly the members of Osmosis were able to separate players like Phoenix and Anger who were trying to take the same angles together. So you can kind of see them isolating each player. Atomic taking them down one by one with that squeezer. Doesn't even really have to engage at that range. Phoenix going to be popping near that tower once again, but picked off by Atomic, who's once again just taking these fights from as far possible as they can. And now we're down to that 20-point margin that I was talking about before here. This is quite literally the danger zone for the members of Black Lotus. Len trying to make sure they can seal the deal with these final picks before they try and go for that knockout, because they really just don't want to risk a wipe right now. So playing these aggressive angles, but not quite in a way that gets too far into their base. They're really rationing things out in a very clear, calculated way, and that's something I can really respect.
Yeah, I mean, cool, cold, and calculated. They're trying to be, but Osmosis just in a very commanding position. There's no real other way to say it. 15 points left on, I mean, their tower push right now, and Black Lotus has not even touched tower at this point. I mean, a minute 30 left in the game. Not a lot of time left right now. They realistically have one, you know, good push in them to try and get going. And I mean, starting an even playing field, 2 players up a piece, is not where you want to be starting that push from. Len is going to be trading out with Phoenix as well, just continuing that stagger, and Black Lotus is just not able to regroup if Osmosis keeps finding these picks, and that's what Osmosis has been playing for. They just want to keep breaking that formation as much as possible and just delay the response as long as possible, because time is on their side as we enter the final minute, what could potentially be the final minute of the set.
Yeah, you can see Black Lotus beginning to take a lot more risky plays here, as you see Noctis dropping onto that right side there, getting picked off for it, though. It seems like Osmosis has their feet very firmly planted in the positions they want to be in to defend this map. Len getting behind that tower there, taking down the other blaster Noctis in this game. Fat Cat is going to be trying to tap shot someone. Like, what is happening?
I mean, it's just desperation at this point. 30 seconds to go, and I mean, Black Lotus barely has any players up, although Osmosis doesn't have a ton of mid control right now, so at least, I mean, that's kind of a green light for Black Lotus to start going, but not if the Atomic Laser has anything to say about it. He's going to find one pick, is already running away, trying to stay, just save as much as possible. Bab is going to be taken down, but Zenith is going to be coming forth right now, holding onto that Zuka with just 10 seconds to go, and I mean, Siren, this might just be curtains for the Ludi season here of Black Lotus, the heavy favorites at the start of things, but Zenith finds one pick with Zuka, finds another pick on Anger, and that's 3 down. Zenith gets the quad to seal the set for Osmosis, 5-2, punching their ticket to finals.
And you know darn well, if there was literally even one more second left in that game, Zenith would have been squid bagging the heck out of them. Getting a quad to punch their ticket in, that's gotta feel great for her. Oh, do we get to watch it again?
What a statement from Osmosis. we might be able to, I don't know, but man, Zenith was so, I mean, that V-shot pick was very well timed for Zenith there, especially getting that nice quad there. I mean, I think that Zuka pressure was something that Osmosis was missing. That re-entry, you know, special was something that kind of, you know, suffered with them, especially on that Clan Blitz game and on that Zones game. It felt like they could never get back in consistently, and having that Zuka definitely helped with that, especially, you know, with the, you know, long range of Atomic and the area effect that Len is running. So very good counter pick there from Zenith there, and it worked out great, and that is going to be getting Osmosis to finals of JivX, and they've only dropped 8 games this entire season, only 4 games to teams that are not named Healthy Diet food groups. So a very strong season ahead of them, and they only have one more foe in their way.
Oh yeah, they do, and that's gonna be it's gonna be Golden Hour, right?
It's gonna be Golden Hour,
I
the
want
top
to say choo-choo, but
of
like,
the NA pool versus the top seed of the EU pool here in DivX. Going to be fighting for supremacy, and here's the quad. Just
Yep.
man.
She was definitely mashing that ZL button, but like, yeah, that was
Oh, she had
past
to
the
have
point of
been. She had to have
inputs.
been.
Yep. Yeah, both teams. It's definitely going to be a battle of the regions that we are seeing here in this next set with grand finals coming up soon. It's kind of one of those interesting things when you have all these sets happening back to back like this. Golden Hour has been kind of sitting back, probably watching the set and seeing what they might be dealing with in a moment here. And on the other hand of that, Osmosis has been playing this entire time. Like they have momentum going into this. It seems like they've just cracked the code of what they got to do. I think that is something that can play into this next set. But what are your thoughts, Pinky?
I mean, just looking at it, I feel like Osmosis has just been very consistent throughout this whole season. I mean, they did lose a few games against Healthy Diet Food Groups that did go to Game 9, but they still, got the set win. But aside from that, I mean, their other sets have been 5-1, 5-0, 5-1, 5-2. So, like, as far as, the other competition in DivX, Osmosis has definitely been, placing themselves kind of a step above. But no discredit to Golden Hour. They're a very strong team. They've been pushed to Game 9 3 times in this Ludi season, and all 3 times they've won them. So when the going gets tough, Golden Hour is there to respond to the call, but Osmosis is the team that kind of wants to deny you from getting to that point in the first place. So it's going to be very interesting to sort of see, a team that thrives in the clutch, that sort of pressure cooker team we were talking about, versus one that just denies you from building any of that good momentum in the first place. So it's going to be a fun set to watch, a great set to be casted by Kion and Falco in just a little bit. But that is going to be the end of this set and the end of our time here. But before we go, Siren, I got to know, where can we find you?
So, hold on. Right there. That stuff right there. That's anywhere I want you to find me. Find me on Blue Sky. Low key, Twitter. Let's go to Blue Sky. Find me there. I think you can find me under the same tag there. But you can follow me on Twitter as well. I'll probably stay active on both platforms just for the sake of accessibility. But you should get a Blue Sky if you don't have one. Or Twitch. Maybe I'll start streaming on YouTube. Who knows? But yeah, that's me. I am very happy that I was able to be here for this Ludi season. How about you, Pinky?
Well, you guys can find. Is it over here? Yeah, there we go. That's the Twitter. Maybe I should be on Blue Sky more. I don't know. I haven't really been using Blue Sky that much. But I concur that Twitter is a bit of a hellscape a little bit. But yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter over there. With that being said, thank you guys for watching the set. Don't you dare go anywhere though, because we are about to see the finals of DivX. Golden Hour versus Osmosis. It's gonna be one heck of a set. Stay tuned.
Yeah, get a
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Ludi Tonight. Happy Div X Finals, everybody. We are finally here. Keon, I don't know how many teams have played in Ludi this season. 400, a big number, very, very big. We're down to the final two here with Golden Hour and Osmosis. And if you've been watching any of these matches that have been going on today, it has been insane, especially starting with how Golden Hour got into this position, inches away from not making it to this final round, but squeezing their way in, getting that fully reverse sweep. Now waiting a little bit, ready to take on Osmosis, who took down Black Lotus 5-2. Keon, how are you doing?
I couldn't be any more awake for this one, especially because I was there from start to finish, from the reverse sweep, almost legendary as ever, Falco, where Golden Hour finished the reverse sweep 5-4, and then we saw Osmosis go 5-2. I'm awake as ever, but before I treat off Falco, welcome back, by the way. I'm glad to see you back here.
Hey, it's great to be back. This is the first time I've been on webcam since I hosted Ludi Tonight Week 1. As a lot of you guys know, my wife had a baby about 8 weeks ago now, so I've been just kind of taking my own Splatoon paternity leave at that, which we have some lovely people who are able to broadcast the Ludi sets for you guys, especially Jory and one of our fantastic streamers here who is doing this DivX broadcast, showing all these replays. Like, look at all the stuff behind me. Look at all these replays that are super cool. I wish we had more time to talk about, again, how Golden Hour and Osmosis got to these positions, but it's pretty late for them. You know, most of these teams, they have some EU players on their team, and it is approaching the midnight, the witching hour for a lot of those players, maybe even a little past midnight. So we're going to try and play at their pace and get into this as soon as we can. And of course, here we have a different map list than we saw in the semifinals. We are moving on to the final map list that a lot of you guys, if you've been playing at Ludi, this is the same map list that you all have played as well, and that we will be broadcasting here on Ludi tonight. So again, a lot of those same maps and modes. Now, Kian, we do have a little bit of a roster change from players that did not play earlier, like Urza, for instance, on Golden Hour, is taking in place of Punchy. So that's why they have been here on this team, even though they didn't play before. I don't know if Osmosis has any players that they added to their roster. You're the one who took control of that, so I'm not really sure.
No, I'll take it over from here. Atomic's filling in for Helix. That is the main swap coming into this one, as both teams are pretty much queued up and ready to go here as Osmosis, of course, on the Bravo side. Alpha side is Golden Hour, and we are pretty much seeing the same weapons that we saw from earlier here that Golden Hour and Osmosis both have played. Of course, the screen is going to be coming back here from Atomic, representing on Osmosis's end. So, but to your point there, Falco, both teams kind of having to get some roster changes just to get themselves ready to go on to here tonight for this Division X broadcast, and so far we've seen some very varying results. Of course, both these teams making their way over here. Golden Hour is going to get the first cap of the zone here, Falco. Let's see how this plays out.
Yeah, they're doing a pretty solid job holding onto the zone. We see Zenith trying to make their way up, but Aloha's the one who catches them. But no, they are going to go down. Len is going to be backing up, trying to stay alive here. And Golden Hour still has a solid control of the zone. Now, of course, on Umami, you don't want to push up too far just because you don't have a lot of room. We can see the screen come out. That is going to be on the side of that's going to be Atomic from Osmosis, who's going to use that to push him out. But Urza staying alive. 3 players are now going to be down on the side of Osmosis. We'll see if Urza can push forward for them, but it looks like Osmosis is still having a hard time trying to find the zone.
Yeah, Osmosis is having a rough go at the zone in the early stages of this game. Just a lot of control that Golden Hour had. Osmosis was able to at least combat them back here for just a few moments. The few weapons I'm gonna take some quick notes here, of course, is from Golden Hour side. The Junior and that Vanilla Tribe with the Inkjet and the Bubble is gonna be pretty key for them. We do see, I believe that, if I'm not mistaken, that is gonna be the regular the Range Blaster, actually, Cousin Range Blaster, if I'm not mistaken, there too. So that is what I'm noticing out of Golden Hour there, as they're gonna go 3 down. Osmosis gets the first cap of the game as well. The other thing to note, though, for Osmosis, they have that screen. Screen's been gaining a lot of popularity here at the higher you go div-wise, so gonna be curious to see how Osmosis can weaponize that. They're still holding firm to the zones here, Falco, and possibly, and we'll be looking to see if they can get the lead back, or lead first, rather.
Yeah, and I mean, screen on this stage in particular is going to be very strong because there's really one path you're going to be pushing it, and the other team, they're just going to have to drop in that pit if they want to avoid the screen, which is pretty much a death sentence for them at that point. And look at this, we can see Osmosis trying to come up, but no, Char's going to be taking down Len and Zenith. It is just going to be Atomic alive for Osmosis, so Golden Hour are going to try and capitalize on that. They are going to take control of the zone. Tiddly is going to be trying to get into mid, unfortunately going to go down. I think that's where they were going to attempt to use a bubble to try and help support some of their teammates, but look at this now. Osmosis trying once again on the offensive side using the help of the screen. Len, unfortunately, is going to go down there on the right, gets the bubble out, but caught themselves in a 3v1. Atomic trying to stay alive in the bubble, and it's going to trade, but now it's going to be Zenith and Aloha. Can Aloha get away with any of those picks? And it looks like they cannot. So Osmosis still in control of the zone. Penalty points counting down. They're really going to want to try and get rid of this, and they're doing a good job getting rid of their penalty points and controlling the zone and keeping their players alive.
That's the big thing too. Len was able to get that bubble out just in time before they went down themselves, which the rest of the team was able to follow suit with all that. But there is going to be the 2 down there, and that stamp was able to stamp 2 members out of Golden Hour just like that. Now Osmosis is out of the penalty points. They are able to keep this push going here. We get to see Zenith with that wiper moving up ahead. They're still trying to see if they can get Golden Hour out of that zone, trying to prevent them from contesting. But Aloha there with that Ancient able to get the final pick. It's going to be just a trade with the assist. Osmosis is still holding on to both these zones for now. Now their Golden Hour is going to go 2 down, 3 down. This should be it for Osmosis coming up here soon. See, this is just going to get the last few stragglers there. And Falco kicking off Division X Finals. Osmosis takes game 1.
Yeah, that was a very solid win for Osmosis. Their offense, I think, was unmatched by Golden Hour on this game. And of course, Osmosis, they just played, excuse me, I'm going to cough, 1 second.
You're good.
I'm recovering from being sick, by the way. Osmosis, they, again, played, 7 games literally just minutes ago before this, where Golden Hour, going to a game 9 and they're set, obviously still just kind of riding the high of that. It's hard to kind of come down from some of those nerves, too, that I think you can be a little, I don't want to say a little rusty here, because obviously, if there's they came back from a 4-0 reverse sweep, so it's not like this one game is really going to phase them based on what they overcame before. But yeah, Osmosis, they just seemed very dominant with their special usage and positioning too, and working well with the screen and the bubble and all that they had at their disposal. So a very, very good win for them in game 1.
And you're pretty much on point there with Golden Hour as well. They're riding the high off of the reverse sweep, but the other factor too is they're coming in a little cold as well from that first set. So first set happened a couple hours ago. They're having to wait for the winner of that Osmosis and Black Lotus set from earlier there too, Falco. So that's gonna be the interesting thing is Golden Hour hopefully they got some practice in just trying to de-rust a tiny bit before they move right along, as we're gonna be queuing up into Inkblot Tower Control, famously the final destination of all tower control maps, as Golden Hour are going to stick with what they have. Osmosis, I believe, is going to be the exact same thing. I think virtually no changes. The only flexible change is just switching over to the other range blaster, but nothing else to know here, Falco.
Yeah, I think these intermissions are going to be like a record short time. With the combination of these players are probably pretty tired, they know what they want to play, and they know what the other team is going to play too. They just already have all of their tools up their sleeves. So again, we're not going to be sitting in a 3 to 4 minute intermission while these teams make moves. They're going to be ready to rock and roll. And we are going to be seeing that neutral game here at the very beginning. It's going to be Len who's going to be going down, and then it's going to be the bucket player on the side of Golden Hour. Zenith here from behind, trying to use a stamp, going to be chasing out Urza, and they do, throwing the stamp at the tower as well. Golden Hour only really getting to 87 right there, not quite to the first checkpoint, but hey, it's points on the board, Keon.
Points on the board for sure, and at least you get those points within the last minute, trying to set the pace for themselves. The issue though is Osmosis is pretty much ready to respond whenever they can. They do have that bubble that is available as well, which they are going to pop. And I love Len's usage of that bubble, trying to allow that aggression from Osmosis right away, and that's why we're seeing Osmosis so deep into their base right now. This is just pure aggression that we're seeing there. Zenith's going to get punished. That's going to be all right. It buys enough space, clears the all-important second checkpoint here in Inkblot. At least that's what I like to say here, as only a few points left on the board there. They're not going to be able to clear just in time. I believe it will reset just like that. But there are 2 points on the board from earlier. Osmosis punches right back. They're going to throw out the screen, but all that said and done, Tower going to be resetting back to mid.
Yeah, and I think Golden Hour might try and capitalize on this. They do have a player advantage right now. It's going to be if they can take down the Len, they can. So Tiddly is going to be still alive here. Just, again, only things he can do with a junior, running an enemy ink and staying alive. Going to be using that bubble on the tower. And again, that's a perfect way to just get past the checkpoint. You know the bubble's just for the checkpoint. Really nothing beyond that. And at that point, you want to make sure that you can clear that checkpoint. They weren't really prepared to push it any more further. But look at all the map control that Osmosis has in mid right now, as 2 players are going to go down on Golden Hour. Osmosis is going to be going to be climbing on the tower once again. I think they're in a position where they could extend this a little bit past the 47 mark, but they're going to want to put their pencil in their squeezer in some key positions.
And the big thing too is putting the Squeezer and the Pencil into positions that they need to allow this push to get past that second checkpoint is going to be key there, and especially with Zenith using their aggression in that sense, as they're able to stamp out Urza as well. Should be Char, yes, going down as well. Could be the third coming here up here soon. Totally is able to escape out of that nicely. And that's gonna be 3 down for sure. Possibly the checkpoint. Oh yeah, definitely the checkpoint for sure. And again, the same idea plays out. Same aggression and putting that Pencil and putting Zenith in a position where they can succeed if they can make it count. Let's just gonna go down really quickly. They're trying to allow that to work. But with 22 points remaining, Tower is going to be approaching that 3rd checkpoint, but they're still weighing out a lot of the fights from Golden Hour's end. Maybe the KO here. Oh, for sure, this could be the KO here, Falco, with just the Pencil left.
Yeah, Osmosis are really throwing their bodies to Golden Hour, and most of the time it is sticking. They're able to get some picks. Is it going to be enough to stay on the tower and get the win? Yes, it is. Osmosis marches their way into a Game 2 win. Really, really good jumps, staying alive there. It seemed a little dicey at times, but hey, as long as they kept their players alive and were able to push forward, they got the win.
And exactly that. Yeah, you gave up the first push at least to Golden Hour, and Golden Hour only burning the bubble just to get the all-important checkpoint from what we saw earlier. So we're gonna get a few highlights here, courtesy of our producer Joy, of course. But the big thing that I love out of Osmosis is you take 2 or 3 down, they're just gonna try to make sure that you get punished right away then and there. Placed on the bats and alongside Plat there. Zenith was able to find a few picks there as well with the Ultra Stamp, which just allows Osmosis to just be able to roll this one past that second checkpoint and then eventually find themselves to that KO marker. And Golden Hour, I still wonder, first, at least from my perspective, if the rust is still kind of there, or if Osmosis is like, all right, we're just gonna ride that momentum, ride a little bit of that high from our set that we just played earlier, and see if we can take home finals.
Yeah, exactly. And it's really hard to tell what the game plan can be, because you obviously just have certain maps and modes that you're not really fond of. Now, all the maps and modes that are in here are pretty much, maps and modes that these players do play quite a bit. Like Tower Control, Inkblot Art Academy, that's always supposed to be the unofficial counter pick, and it's only fitting that it's going to be on Game 2. So we will just kind of wait and see what's going to be, if there's going to be any changes that happen here as we move on to the next stage. It's going to be Rainmaker Robo Ramen. So we've seen a lot with Rainmaker, how, again, some map, very easy to get the first checkpoint, can really spiral out of control if you're not careful. Now, we have seen a few crazy things from some other teams, but we'll see if it hops into this lobby here. And taking a look at the comps here, we're going to not see too many changes. Actually, we're going to see...
What?
Yeah, we're gonna see the reflux come out. That's gonna be Zenith using that with the Reef Slider, which there are quite some good paths here that you can use Reef Slider on to try and push forward. So we're gonna see how they use this to their advantage.
I feel like Falco, I always like to joke whenever I see silly weapons that just not many people get to see here. The Reflux Deco with that Reef Slider, see if it can get value. And the funny thing is that is also a lot of paint that Osmos has, just trying to build themselves back up. And so far they're able to take 3 members out. So that was one of the key things here. Is how do you take full advantage of the Reef Slider and the paint that that Reflux allows, as they're gonna get through that first checkpoint? They're pretty easy to break through. So it's going to be interesting to see how Golden Hour, which, by the way, Urza switching over to the 52 gal, is how does Urza deliver with that weapon of choice? That's what I'm going to be curious to see here, as that screen dish almost running right into almost going to turn grayscale for them there soon. But it looks like Rainmaker going to be stuck in that first checkpoint, likely going to be resetting here shortly, Falco.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate for Osmosis that they couldn't really push it beyond that checkpoint, because they did have a 3-player advantage, and then I think it was Urza who used the whale and didn't really splat anybody, so there was one less special that they're going to have to worry about. But as we were talking about that, Golden Hour just quickly marches the Rainmaker up to the podium, gets the check, but Osmosis is going to be the one who picks it up. It's going to be Atomic who's going to reset it, bring this back to neutral game. Now, Golden Hour still has a little bit of map control, but you at least push the Rainmaker back a little bit, so that's going to give Osmosis just a little bit of a time for some reset here, and they're going to try and capitalize on that as we have a 3v3 situation. Aloha here is going to be sharking, trying to wait, throwing some mist, going to be shooting, or going to be swimming up to try and get Len, but that is not going to be successful. Golden Hour still in control of the Rainmaker, but no signs of them picking it up quite yet.
Yeah. Only a few seconds later, they're gonna pick it up, just trying to wait to build up that control of Osmosis's territory there, right around their base. And again, both teams having the same idea. Again, the higher you move up division wise, you get to see both teams try to play a lot more aggressive, try to play a very punishing game. But Atomic's right there on the side, able to get the pick, and it's gonna be 3 down for Golden Hour, not able to get much further past the first checkpoint. And the interesting thing that I've noticed here with both teams is just not able to take full advantage past that. They're still having to they're still trying to play this one a little methodically here, just trying to wait for that good time to basically get that push started, try to see if they can get more points on the board. Once more, the same script repeats itself. Osmosis takes that Rainmaker all the way up. They are going to use that. They are going to pick that one up. However, with the Restarter being used to clear up the space that they need, and still, they're only throwing out a few lob shots here. Falco, it's only 7 extra points, but this could be a little bit more coming soon, especially if Atom is able to get picks.
Yeah, and that's going to be some really good miss coming out from the side of Golden Hour. That's going to force Len to just wait a little bit. Now they're going to rush forward here on the right side. Staying alive, getting down to 36 for that push. You know, you really don't have much room that you can go, but, you know, as soon as you do have a clearing, you better take advantage of that. And Len did a fantastic job using whatever path that they could to try and push forward. Here's going to be the Reslider coming back once again from Zenith, but they're going to be going down from Jay, who's using the Rainmaker here. You're going to want to try and watch Bab, because Bab is going to be the one who's sharking behind here on this ledge, trying to identify where the Rainmaker is, but that's going to be the wipeout. That's going to be huge for Osmosis, as they're going to want to try and clear a little bit of space in mid, pick up the Rainmaker. I don't know if they'll be in an immediate position to really extend past their 36 mark, but with the help of Zenith trying to flank, you might be in a very good position, as Tiddly is going to be trying to identify where they are, and they are still alive, but now the Rainmaker might extend a little bit more. Bab is able to do that, pushes against the wall, gets to 27, still hugging on the wall, and dying in front of it, getting down to 13, so a very, very good push by Osmosis.
Look at what Osmosis at least did to at least break it down to 13 punch rate and being able to take it up the ramp. They pretty much caused Golden Hour to scatter across the map and then try to figure out, okay, which target do we need to focus first? Oh, let's get this one. And then all of a sudden, the flank from Zenith, and then a few members just catching them by surprise, is throwing Golden Hour a little bit off guard and trying to recover from defense. So that's one of the intriguing things that Osmosis has done so well, is just being able to take full advantage with these pushes. And Golden Hour is unfortunately just stuck a bit. Now we're at 30 seconds left to go on the clock here. Falco almost entering stall territory, if you will, here in Rainmaker. So I wouldn't be surprised here if Osmosis is just trying to clear out the path and look to pick up the Rainmaker, probably within less than 5 seconds on that clock, as Atomics is the one lurking large. So with Golden Hour, they have to figure out how they can get some of those members out of Osmosis and try to build up the space that they need. They see Atomic. Atomic has to escape right then and there. Restarter has been popped. The Sniper is going to go down. That's going to be a lot of painting going down on top of it. They have to pick up this Rainmaker here soon, as I don't think they're not going to be able to pick it up there. Falco and Osmosis is up 3-0.
No, Golden Hour, they were right around the Rainmaker, but they knew they had to take out Len before picking up the Rainmaker, or else they would have no push at all. But sometimes you really just need to grab the Rainmaker so at least have an overtime, and no, they couldn't get themselves in that position. Osmosis had a solid ending on that game. Again, taking advantage of the player advantage that they had, extending the Rainmaker with the push of the Reef Slider, with just Bab knowing where to hide once they were able to push forward. And it's going to be the push, not that push right here, but this one, I believe. Well, no, we have way too many great clips that Jorian gets for us. This is going to be where Len tries to push up, because I know it was Bab who pushed it up against the wall. But Osmosis, they just put themselves right here in a very good position to say, hey, I know that if you pick up the Rainmaker, you could get the lead because you already broke your checkpoint, but we're going to push this as far as we can. And with the help of Zenith, just throwing their body to the front wall, deviating all the attention, that really helped Osmosis on that offensive push.
It's exactly what I noted there too earlier. On top of it too, Zenith just using that Restarter just as a distraction tactic, effectively just forcing Golden Hour was like, all right, we gotta focus Zenith, but let's try to send one back, and then all of a sudden Osmosis just throws 2 right into them. So that's a very tricky thing that Golden Hour is having to realize, is there's so many members, you gotta focus right then there. Do you focus Zenith? Do you focus the other members like Len on Osmosis' end? That's going to be the puzzle I feel like they're going to have to solve as the set progresses through. 3-0 deficit. Golden Hour, as we saw earlier, no strangers to being down 3-0, as we both know. But Osmosis is a much tougher opponent here, Falco. Museum Clams is going to have to be the map where they're going to have to kickstart it back up.
Yeah, and let's talk about the opponents that they faced before. Golden Hour, they were in the same group as Black Lotus, beat Black Lotus 5-4, whereas Osmosis, they were in the same group as Choo Choo and beat them 5-0. So very different endings in the group stages, and now they are coming together here. Going into Game 4, once again, really kind of playing the old reliable weapons that we know and love from all of these players. We're not going to have the reflux deco on this from Zenith. They're going to go back to their wiper.
So the intriguing thing here with Golden Hour is a few maps ago we saw Urza on that 52 gal. Aloha is now on 52 gal duties there, and it's going to be the range blast that Urza is going to go back into. So I'm going to be curious to see how if Golden Hour is going to be switching over to a different player playing the 52 gal, how they're able to deliver versus what Osmosis did. But I don't think that's going to be much. I think that might be still something they're having to solve. Their Zenith is able to stamp out one. They're able to get that push started. Their screen used to pretty much zone out the rest of Golden Hour from moving up forward, which again is forcing Golden Hour to go to that left-hand side of the map. And this is a much bigger push. In fact, this could extend even further. Could be a one push KO if they're able to make that happen. But halfway through that push so far, and it looks like Bab's still throwing in a few more clams here. 23 points remaining. Falco, this is a commanding start from Osmosis.
Yeah, they're still in territory for it. We can see the Foil Squeezers trying to throw some in. Bab is going to be coming up on the side with 3 claims as well, going to be getting 2 of those in, down to 11, down to 5, just 2 more clams. Could this be a one-push KO? No clams anymore on the side of Osmosis. Now we have 3 that coming from Len. Where's Len? Oh, Len is going to go down. Zenith, the only one alive, but that push is now over, getting all the way down to 5. A 47 penalty point for Osmosis. They are sitting very pretty at the start of this game. That was only 1 minute and 30 seconds into this, Keon.
Even more so, one push as well from Osmosis and Golden Hour. Again, if you're Golden Hour, you have to breathe a sigh of relief that you're able to stop the push, but the next mountain is up ahead. How do you break it down to further than 5 points remaining? A 95-point score, if you will. You have to win. You have to win on a lot of these fights, but the way Osmosis is kind of forcing Golden Hour to be scattered just a bit is making things a lot more difficult. Char having to at least go back, at least able to get the pick onto Atomic, just trying to slow things down. There's really no time for them to catch their breath, because anytime Golden Hour tries to take a pause, Osmosis is like, all right, we're gonna try to move up each go around. Len's already there on fight, excuse me, but 3 members that are down from Osmosis, they will have to for sure slow it down. But Zenith is still there, and Golden Hour still has to respect Zenith at this stage.
Yeah, certainly. If you are Golden Hour, you have to know the key players of Osmosis. Now, all of them are key players, but players in particular like Len and Zenith are just going to be all over the map. You have no idea where they're going to be. And Osmosis now trying to strike once again like they did in the very beginning, gathering some of their clams. They have 12 at their disposal, taking control of Golden Hour's spinner and of mid. Juice is going to be up here in a pretty aggressive spot, but hey, it's going to need to be there if they want to score too. Stamp is going to be coming out from Zenith. Are they able to take down Tiddly? And it looks like Tiddly's still trying to stay alive while trying to take them down. Zenith is still alive as well. Len and Atomic sharing some power clams to try and score, and they are going to break the basket open. But once again, a lot of clams that they're going to need if they want to try and get this knockout in this position. But hey, as long as they have the player advantages and can keep that basket open, they don't care how long it takes.
Yeah, definitely. And considering the length of that push, it was just that one power clam. At least, sure, it is going to be a free power clam, but although this is still the same tempo that they're playing, excuse me, they're still playing as aggressive as they can. They're going to try to buy some time to make sure that Golden Hour can't get themselves an opening. And again, what we're going to be seeing here is just the fast pace maneuvers that both teams are dishing out. Osmosis, all right, we're going to take a couple members out. We're going to see if we can punish you. Golden Hour is able to get 2 members down. They understood that, hey, that wasn't the window of opportunity for us to strike. Yes, you get 2 power claims and you cut the deficit. You're wiped out, sure. You gave yourselves a little bit more time to buy the, you gave yourselves a little bit more time to cut down the deficit even further. The other issue, though, is that they use that pity claim to break it down to those 40 points there as well. So Golden Hour needs to get a power clan spawned in, which as long as they can find that, that's going to be the key thing to keeping themselves in overtime. But Osmosis still playing aggressive.
Yeah, and 95% of the situations getting 2 power. Oh, can they get that one in? Yes, they can for the win. Okay, Osmosis.
All right.
I was going to say 95% of the time getting 2 power claims in is always good, but when your golden hour and your deficit is that far, you really need to make sure that any push you have is going to net you a lot of points. Now, unfortunately for golden hour, they weren't really able to score there, and Osmosis very quick on the respawn too, getting one power clam in, getting the other. This is the moment when the basket first opened, getting down to 32, and we're going to see this basket almost close here, but Bab is able to get a few more clams in, and this basket was open for quite some time, Keone, getting all the way down to 5, almost to that one push KO. And I swear that 30 seconds, however long it was open, it felt much longer for golden hour in that moment. And knowing that you have to get down to 5 to try and get the win, it is such a hard deficit to come back from. So I don't blame them for, pretty much doing anything they possibly could do to score. But when Osmosis, when they're able to respawn as quickly as they could, it's just impossible to beat that.
It feels so deflating too if you are golden hour, where a minute 30 kind of almost felt like at least 10 minutes of that push is like, oh my goodness, this is still going. How do we recover? How on earth do we recover this? We gotta stop them soon. Again, at least they were able to stop them before it was just that one push kill, which could have been incredibly demoralizing if you are golden hour. So familiar territory, Falco this time. Again, I know it from the last map. Different quality opponent. This is a very tough Osmosis team. They are just pulling no punches right now. And both teams, as I mentioned before, these are going to be very quick intermissions. Both teams are probably just going to change a few weapons here and there. Try to get different players in different assignments. So Falco, Golden Hour has to do the unthinkable if they want to win this Division X Finals. But we saw from earlier, they could do it, but it's got to start now.
What did they do an hour and a half ago? Unthinkable. Yeah. They did exactly that. And if you missed the semis with Golden Hour and Choo was up 4-0. Golden Hour came back with the reverse sweep to get the win. The first reverse sweep on Ludi tonight this season just happens to be in Div X. But hey, let's go into Game 5 here and see if Osmosis can close it out, get the sweep, or we'll see if Golden Hour can try and extend the set one more game.
Golden Hour is just gonna try to stick with just the same setup that works. So again, the same story applies. It's not just Zenith and Len now. The entire team is just playing as a unit. So how do you deal with just turning that advantage around? And in Mako zones, again, a very common map combination. That's gonna be the key thing I need to see is cooler usage and bubble usage, because you're gonna have to protect the zone with all your might. You're gonna have to play to punish. And so far, that's a good start for Golden Hour, taking 2 members out. More importantly, that was the Photo Squeezer and the Snipe Rider going down as well. So that was some of their flanking opportunities that they could have. And Zenith and the Range Blasters going down. And Golden Hour, well, they're past 70 points remaining. They just have to keep this up.
Yeah, this is a position Golden Hour has not been in so far this set against Osmosis. They've never had a lead this dominant, especially this early in the game, and they still have solid control. Now, I know it's zones. It only takes a few specials for you to cap the zone and, prolong the match, but Golden Hour is looking much more comfortable in this game. They're going to have to avoid some of these specials coming out on the side of Osmosis with the screen and the bubble and the stamp, and it looks like they're able to survive a little bit of it. Osmosis trying to cap the zone with the help of the pencil and the wiper, and it is not quite there yet as Golden Hour has solid control. Tiddly was there controlling the left stack, just you can't outpaint the junior in that position, and they did such a good job here, but this might be where Osmosis is able to cap the zone, and they do, giving 64 penalty points to Golden Hour.
Golden Hour is exactly what you know. Their first time this set that they were able to take that lead and just push it even further. But you saw what Osmosis can do is they will play super aggressive and punish you the entire way through. And I know I sound like a broken record each time I say it, but it continues to be the story the entire time. Is Osmosis just able to run that one through? Golden Hour is just a few steps behind, and Osmosis doesn't have any penalty points in their name. But the big thing that Golden Hour at least has been doing so far in this map all alone is shutting down Zenith in key moments. So how do they weaponize this cooler? What happened there? I believe a bomb took out a majority of the team, and Falco, this could be a big advantage for Osmosis. They could get the lead back and possibly a KO for the division.
Yeah, they have very solid control of the zone. They are going to take the lead right now, barely taking it down to 2, but still holding on. What? 3 players are going to be down. It is just going to be the Blaster on the side of Golden Hour. The bubble is in the zone, but that's not going to be enough time. Osmosis defeats Golden Hour 5-0 and are your Division X champions here in Season 15 of Ludi.
Congratulations, Osmosis, and I know for a lot, and I know for them, they're gonna feel happy to take that 5-0 sweep home to the bank there. And yeah, Division X champions here this season. And this, if you, I know it sounds very different. This set has been very different compared to the previous ones, but I feel like this just shows the power of what Osmosis can do. And the fact that Golden Hour, again, that was the greatest start that they could have asked for in Mako Zones, is being able to break this home to 16 points main and be able to find so many different members across the board from left to right. But the problem is, once they lost zone, Osmosis realizes, all right, we got the zone. It's time for us to take control. And a few key moments, I have to see later in the highlights if a bomb took out 3 members at that point where the lead just before then swapped places. So again, Osmosis played so well. Golden Hour, I know it feels a little deflating from 5-4 reverse sweep to just getting swept entirely, but they got to give a lot of credit to them being able to make it this far.
Yeah, well, and especially when you make it all the way to a game 9 in your semis, and then you have to wait for, you know, roughly an hour to play the set. And I mean, it's late for a lot of those players as well, so that's always such a hard pill to swallow. And Golden Hour, both of these teams actually did not lose a single set in their Ludi groups. Golden Hour went 5-0, Osmosis went 4-0-1. One of their matches, they just didn't play, so they tied. TO's just tied it, and honestly, that's just going to benefit Osmosis at that point. So they were the #1 seed. Golden Hour was the #1 seed coming from their group, respectively. So we saw arguably the top 2 teams in all of Ludi face off here, but Osmosis, they just looked so much more comfortable, especially during games 3 and 4. And I mean, Golden Hour, they had, again, a solid lead at the beginning of Splat Zones in game 5, but unfortunately for them, Osmosis, they just knew when to break in, where to throw the specials, and how to break in, and especially where to position yourselves to make sure that Golden Hour can't break back in too. So that was a fantastic win for Osmosis.
And again, a lot of credit to Golden Hour. I will talk about them real quickly here, because that reverse sweep you noted there too is like, you go from going all the way to game 9, but also just the toll it took to be down 4-0 and then complete the reverse sweep. You had at least a cooldown to recollect yourselves and try to get yourself set up for grand finals. But also the other thing to note too was just how late it was for a lot of these players. I believe European and NA players alike. For NA, it's obviously the afternoon, close to evening, dinner time, if you will. But for EU players, almost close to midnight. So Golden Hour had to just could have been exhausted as well. But Osmosis, for them, they played spectacular from start to finish. This entire set, a lot of credit to the rest of that roster. Zenith, Bab, Lennon. How about Atomic, by the way, hopping into the team as well for this Division X finals there too. I believe their normal 4th player was Helix, who wasn't able to make it. So Atomic able to step up and get Osmosis through as well. It's just been so incredible to see how Osmosis played here, Falco.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, having a sub in Div X in particular, it's always a little scary for some teams too. But obviously, these teams know some great players and can have fantastic subs. And like Atomic did such a fantastic job during this game too, helping bring Osmosis to victory. And that was a very well-deserved win for Osmosis. And again, for Div X, they played their regular season of Ludi probably about a month ago. Again, there's only 4 teams who were in the playoffs, and they played today, so they had about 3.5 weeks to wait to play. Now, obviously, I'm sure players played in tournaments, a lot of high-level tournaments and all that good stuff too, but waiting around and first of all, willing to broadcast here on a Tuesday afternoon for us. That's probably a Ludi first for us. I know it's the summer, makes it a lot easier for some people, but it's always great when we can broadcast the final 4 matches, especially in Div X, Div 1, a lot of the higher divs, to showcase these games to you guys. And it's been so wonderful, especially with our streamer Jorian, who's been doing a lot for Ludi tonight, been doing a fantastic job streaming, queuing up all the replays for us. And it's always been such a blast, and we can't wait for more, because we still have a lot more Ludi action that's going to be happening later this week, Ian.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those moments that they're still looking at you, at you. Everybody misses you. Apparently, that's exactly how that is. But yeah, normally I think last season Division X was basically the finisher, or I guess the closer, if you will, for our Ludi Tonight broadcast. This is literally right smack in the middle of everything, with everything here too. There's still a lot of divisions that have to finish off their finals set here as well. And I know you and I both know that we know when those games will be. So I'm really excited to see how the rest of Ludi shapes up. Division X is done. I believe Division 6 was done yesterday too, Falco. So I'm waiting to see how all the other divisions play out, especially one as well. That's also a division I have my eyes on. So we got a lot more division finals yet. We're not done, everybody. We're not done.
Not done. It's going to be a full weekend. I know the next match we have confirmed is going to be the Div 10 World Division. That's going to be Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. I believe that's the only match we have on Friday, but Saturday and Sunday we have pretty much a full slate of matches. And then I believe on... yeah, we're still trying to figure out when Div 1 is going to play, but of course, when we know, we will let you guys know as well. So a lot of that is still kind of being confirmed with the TOs and the teams and all that, but we will absolutely broadcast that for you guys. So you guys stay tuned. Make sure you are following SplatoonTourney. Go watch the VOD from yesterday's Div 6 finals. It went to a Game 9, by the way. Fantastic set. It was a lot of fun, and you don't want to miss that. You don't want to miss any of the Ludi Div finals that we have here on SplatoonTourney.
That's the big thing we got to keep an eye on there as well. So guys, just stay tuned throughout the week. We got a lot more of SplatoonTourney action. I know Falco, you and I are gonna have to figure out how to get that organized all together there too. So I think we're good here, at least in my opinion, Falco. So I'll toss it over to you first. Why not? I know you came back from that long break, but still, I may as well ask anyway. Where can the people find you?
Yeah, you can find me, Falco Flyer, on Twitch. I'm not streaming right now. I will probably be streaming sometime after Riptide. I'm not entirely too sure when that's going to be starting. You can find me on Twitter. I'm only going to be posting things relevant to Splatoon and streaming and all that on Twitter, but you can follow me on Blue Sky for more of a traditional social media following Falco Flyer on Blue Sky. Keon, where can we find you?
You guys can find me at the usual channels. Actually, funny enough, I'm also taking a break until after Riptide, but for a different reason, because my schedule just hasn't lined up at all this month. So I decided I'm just gonna cut it short before I go any further. Also, the same deal. You can find me Twitter and Blue Sky as well. Both feeds will be a little bit more exclusive than the other. So if you can follow Twitter for my nonsense and Blue Sky for the realist takes here from me. So Falco, I guess I'll toss it back to you for your sign off, because I feel like it just feels right in my opinion.
Thank you. Hey, well, I also want to shout out Jorian one more time for being our lovely streamer here. Always a pleasure working with Jorian, giving you guys all these great replays that are queued up and lined up. And again, always a pleasure to work with him. Jorian, if you want to hop on the mic and shout yourself out, you can.
Please.
You can do that.
I've talked about the board base. I don't have a cam up, so yeah. Joanne51 Twitter, Joanne Blue Sky. I might post there more, but yeah, at the same time, yeah, no, there's still Div 1 to figure it out, and that's going to be like figured out soon. But everything else, yeah, it's more or less set in stone. But the good thing is, Div X is done. It's faced the earliest instead of the latest like last season. But yeah, congrats to Spawn, Bob, Len, Dominic, and also Helix, who is working. So the most likely amount of hype there, but at the same time though, honestly, this is peak for Zenith and Len. Zenith has been on a watch right now, like winning Super Jump, if I remember correctly, for Super Jump 3, and still has been winning weeks as well. So really, for Zenith's resume, they have a lot to stack on for them. And for Len, knowing from them from the start, from demo IHOP to now, then Len needs to be studied. They have improved so much, and it's so good to see them going this high. But yeah, so I'm gonna leave it to you guys again, and if anything else, otherwise, yeah, congrats Osmosis. Yeah.
All right, thank you, Jorian. And once again, we have more Ludi Division Finals coming your way later this weekend. For sure, the next one will be Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Could be some before that. We're still waiting on a few to be scheduled, but of course, make sure you guys are following SplatoonTourney here on Twitch and on Twitter. That's going to be it for us today here for our Division X Finals. We will see you next time. Have a fantastic, fantastic evening, everybody. Take care.